Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio. As we're doing the intro, Scott is like, I can't hear anything. That's fine. That's fine. I tried out a little bit of an intro graphic this weekend. You know, there's some bugs that need to be worked out. There's certainly some bugs that need to be worked out, but you know, it wouldn't be us here at Ring Post Radio at Countout if there weren't some bugs. I just try something out off the cuff and it doesn't work perfectly. But hey, I played some music at the beginning, so that was my goal. Sky couldn't hear it at all. That's fine. What a start. I am Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Edwards. How are you doing on this fine Sunday morning?
I am having a great time. We are on the eve of Wrestlemania week. I watched the Cinderella tournament that broke people today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that impression on Twitter.
Yeah, it broke people. I loved it. I thought it was great. Every favorite is gone. Every favorite's out. It's amazing.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll talk about it, but I'm pretty sure Tekla's still in there.
Well, no, not like people's favorites. I mean, like the favorite heading into the tournament.
Your point?
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Yeah, come on, guy. Come on, man.
Yeah. I watched Creed for the first time yesterday.
Really? What'd you think of it?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was really good. I think Michael B. Jordan's excellent. I like Rocky as a trainer rather than.
And this is Creed 1, right? This isn't.
Yes, Creed 1. I like Rocky as the trainer rather than the boxer, which might get me bought. That's fine. But I think Michael B. Jordan's excellent. I love Michael B. Jordan, so it's a shame that I'm just watching it because over the past month I've watched Rocky for the first time because I'm trying to get there in time to watch Creed 3 in theaters, but
in theaters today.
In theaters today, yeah, with starring Michael B. Jordan and
and an alleged, newly alleged person.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
that came up that shocked me yesterday.
Because before last month, I hadn't seen any of the Rockies, and you know, I don't know, people find that weird, so I wanted to make sure to change that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not going to judge you for saying it's weird because my history of the Rocky franchise is a weird one. I haven't seen a single Rocky movie. I haven't seen a single Creed movie.
Wow.
These are all my tickets to, all my boxes to check off. But you want to know what I have seen, Scotty?
No, I don't know. I mean, something, I'm sure.
The Rocky Broadway musical.
Ah, yes. Okay. How was that?
Awesome. It was,
but it didn't get you to watch Rocky.
Nope. Apparently not. Apparently not. Well, I saw the musical.
How awesome it was. Maybe it was like, oh, you know what? I've seen enough. I'm good.
So it was Rocky the Musical, music by Sylvester Stallone and Thomas Meehan.
Awesome.
So he was a part of it.
That's awesome.
It was it's just called Rocky the Musical from 2012. It is.
He's part of all of Rocky.
Yeah, some would say. It basically, it's just, it was a Broadway show in February 2014 at the Winter Garden Theater. I saw it with my mother. It was awesome. There's no reason to watch the first movie. I saw the movie. They basically do all the movie points, I presume. They do a montage where he's eating a bunch of eggs and beating up a bunch of beef in a locker. But I will say the best part of this musical, Scotty, with no joke, was the fight at the end. Because so the entire time they have obviously a boxing ring on stage, but the boxing ring is crazy because they're like lifting it and tilting it while people are boxing on it. And in the air, it's like tilted up like this. So people are like boxing like at a corner. But for the final fight, what they did, they took the first 10 rows of the movie theater out of their seats, put bleachers in on the actual stage, moved
awesome.
all of them to the bleachers, moved the ring out over the first 10 rows that are now empty.
That's crazy.
Then they lowered like flyers posters and like 76er posters or whatnot, like advertisements for the fight down from like, the stage.
Yeah.
They had announcers up in like the top area, doing live announcing.
Production. Holy shit.
Then they did the fight, played entrance music, and the actors playing Rocky and the other guy.
Apollo Creed.
Thank you, Apollo Creed. Walked out from the back of the stage, like not the stage, from the back of the theater, through the crowd and entered the ring. It was
that is amazing.
It was the coolest experience that I've ever had in regards to Rocky. It was, and the only experience I've had in regards to Rocky. It was awesome. I was there.
Actually, you've now had 2.
Well, I don't know about that one.
Well, you've had 2 experiences of Rocky now.
That's true. Rocky Balboa.
As the reports have told me, you've had 2.
And there's also Rocky Maivia, and The Rock. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Not the same thing.
No, not the same thing.
No. We actually got to relive Rocky 3, which I thought, out of those first 4 was probably my least favorite. So
I was going to say, have you seen? Have you seen Rocky 3? Did you enjoy Rocky 3?
Maybe. I'm not saying maybe it was a bad idea to replay Rocky 3,
but
might have been a bad idea to replay Rocky.
In hindsight of everything.
Yeah.
But the musical was fantastic. I don't think you might be able to watch it online somewhere.
May have to. Maybe that'll make my Creed viewing better.
But the experience, the final moments of that musical were fantastic. And again, it's a musical, so they're singing the entire time. But they're doing the fight and they're in slow motion sometimes, like they're doing all that shit, and they're actually boxing. It was awesome, and like they're putting like prosthetic makeup or something on the actors or whatnot during the fight, but you don't see it because it's all
that's good
magic kayfabed away. So like at the end of the fight, they're like covered in blood and shit.
Awesome.
It just looked awesome. It was the best.
So what you're saying is that we've already talked about Rocky way too much on this episode.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame we unknowingly just sort of, I don't know, off the cuff felt like we needed to talk about Rocky to open the show. Just something in the ether feels right.
Good timing.
About Rocky.
And I want everyone to know, I actually did watch Creed for the first time yesterday. This was not a lie. I did do it. So and don't come calling me out. I did watch it, and it was fantastic. Thank you for asking. I also watched John Wick this week, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's not as newsworthy.
I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Is that newsworthy? Does that count? Does that work?
Late. Sorry, bud.
I want to see if I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna share my screen on it, but it's the Rocky. Look up pictures of Rocky the Musical. It was awesome.
I will, but we have. I don't know if you know this. We have a show to do.
No, this is more important, Scotty.
I got rid of the Rocky background. We have so much show to do.
We have Rocky talk.
Thing.
Yeah,
if it was 2 hours and we could extend it a little bit, that would be fine. But we are literally having an intermission today because this is going to be the longest show of our lives until next week, which will be the longest show of our lives.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one this week. That's
what she said.
There's a little. It's gonna be a silly one for folks. I can already feel that one. Big week this week. It's a little show called Wrestlemania happening this weekend. So we're going to be previewing that whole show, talking about the New Japan Cup Finals and New Japan moving forward. Starting Cinderella Tournament Night 1. All your fan favorites like Tekla and Saida are still in. So we got some winners, baby. Some winners. Get on the train. We also, of course, got all of, not all of WrestleMania weekend, but we're going to talk about and preview the shows that we are planning to watch and planning to discuss next week. Obviously, we're going to try to watch all of these. If we can't watch all of these and talk about next week, maybe we'll talk about the week after. We don't know. But this is
he's coming up with excuses.
This is
our watch everything.
I'm going to try to watch everything. But my point is that this is our goal. This will be our stated goal. This is us putting forward our, shows to watch list for fans of this show. This is what we think you should watch based on previews, I guess, not the actual reviews. We don't know. Maybe there's a sleeper show. Maybe a Circle 6 show is out there. That's going to be, maybe the
spoiler alert.
Maybe the AJ Gray hour is going to be a great one.
No,
I don't know.
Picked any other hour.
I couldn't remember any other.
Treehouse hour. Perhaps.
Oh yeah, the weed treehouse hour gimmick thing. It's just that entire hour. They're just gonna do a smoke machine into the ring the entire time. That's it. But we're gonna talk about it. We got a big old packed show. We're expecting to go longer than typical. So we appreciate you for joining us live or listening to us in audio form on your podcast feeder.
You won't know anything about the intermission.
No, because it will be cut out for audio. But for the live ones here, we'll have a slight intermission at some point. Probably like snack an hour and a half, baby. The little snack time, little bathroom break, I'm going to eat a pizza. Stuffed crust, baby. Stuffed crust. That's what she said.
You're going to come back feeling worse than when you left the show.
Nah, man. I feel I have an iron stomach that has been failing me recently. Anyways.
Oh, good.
But I feel like of course, let's talk about the big old elephant in the room beyond Rocky 3. Why we're talking about Rocky 3. Let's talk about let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Talk about the biggest news item from the week. Just so we can get into all of this wrestling discussion. Let's rip that Band-Aid, don't make that sound, off and talk about good old CM Punk. So, this was an interesting week. And I think at any point, Scotty, I'm going to go through this news. At any point, tell me pause and we'll discuss it. But I'm just going to talk about it, okay?
All right.
Okay, because there's a lot. Because there's a lot of shit that went down.
Yeah.
So.
Sure did.
So.
Pause. I already want to get started. I don't need CM Punk stuff instantly making my timeline an absolute toxic wasteland every single time. Can we all react like normal people, please? For once. Continue.
So, it started with basically Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez talking on the show, talking about like, oh, hey, it seems like there's a good shot that CM Punk might be coming back to the company. It's just sort of a Tony Khan decision, seems like at this point, right?
Yeah.
Which is arguably kind of what everyone, it's been quiet for a long time. Everyone sort of felt like that might be a possibility with FTR Bull, Dax Harwood, and CM Punk talking about book readings and squashing beefs in the back room or whatever. It felt like, okay, maybe they're heading this direction. There's also like the All Out, changing up the venue, trying to get a bigger arena, which they typically do in Chicago. Maybe they're trying to do something else in Chicago in a bigger arena. Maybe that's something. It's a lot of these sort of things are popping up. And then good old Dave, went on to the Wrestling Observer board and wrote this comment saying, do you know why they didn't advertise Punk versus Moxley longer and why it had a short build? Because Punk agreed to it. Then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and wasn't doing it, and they didn't know if he'll come until Tony put his foot down. There are a lot of nice things I can say about him, and you can absolutely argue his position on Moxley was correct, but you can't argue he willingly did what he was asked in that scenario. So Dave sort of just mentioning that the reason it was short is because there was a lot of back and forth between Punk and Moxley, and eventually Tony Khan had to put his foot down, and Dave does agree that maybe Punk has the good hindsight, good point of maybe it was a good idea to not do that short match because the pay-per-view buys were sort of less than wanted, less than expected. But, you saying basically that doing a legal letter and doing all that stuff, not really kind of almost being, it sounds like what he's saying is forcing Punk into doing the storyline was maybe not the best way for Punk to do things. So it starts with that. And then Obviously, at some point, CM Punk now sees this post.
I just want to point out at that
Mhm.
point, people were saying CM Punk was wrong. Continue.
So Punk then goes onto Instagram, and in a now deleted Instagram post, he makes this comment. Sigh. I love the sigh start. I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet. The plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I've never seen a Rocky movie, and I thought the idea sucked, but if the boss wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I've never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if this is what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I needed to be cleared first. They kept saying it could be just a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There are plans, but plans always change, but I'll never put a company above my health ever again. So that is the Instagram post.
Time to pause now.
Yes.
We've reached the point of pausation.
That's their finisher move. The point of pausation.
So you know what? Like when I read after reading this, because I saw it in real time, wild stuff. Seeing CM Punk post this and grabbing the screenshot, being like, "Is this real?"
Yes.
So what I learned from all that is now we know who CM Punk was supposed to be yelling at during the press conference. Mr. Y2J himself. That's what I learned from this, because we know it wasn't the Young Bucks. Now, we know that now. It wasn't the Young Bucks that was saying, "Oh, you know about the stuff about Colt Cabana and CM Punk."
Oh, you mean like
Yeah.
telling the yes.
Yeah.
He at one point Punk adamant believed that the Young Bucks were telling the information. The Young Bucks, the Elite, Kenny, Adam Page, whoever, was telling information to Dave and Brian. They both said no. Now CM Punk is saying it was Jericho.
Yes, which it's believed Jericho has been the one to say many things to Dave.
It's pretty much a known fact at this point that Jericho talks to Dave.
Yeah, very much known. So lots to dissect here. Lots to dissect.
Yeah. Where do you want to start with this dissection? This pausation dissection.
We did the Rocky stuff already, so we don't have to hit that anymore.
Did you like the? Let's start there. Did you like the idea of what they did? That short match. I'm trying to remember what we felt about that in the time.
I remember we were saying that so I remember, because I went back. I don't want to sound like an idiot. I don't want to have people coming at me like, "Oh, we liked it at the time." I remember saying that I was excited for the main event.
Yes,
because it was different. But I remember watching that show, and as the match was going on, it didn't feel that way. It was more of expectations, I think, on our part of like Moxley and Punk will get us there, right? But once the match, was going, it was a good match.
Yeah.
You kind of just felt that they made the wrong decision
in terms of doing the shock loss. Up front.
Yeah. You definitely felt that. Obviously, it proved that it wasn't really the smartest idea.
But hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's 2020 at that point. But yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so CM Punk saying it sucked, not a bad idea. This comes down to which side you want to pick. I believe there's a lot of truth on both sides.
Yeah, and I think the truth is somewhere in the middle for sure.
Always is with these things. I'm 100% sure John Moxley wanted to protect himself.
It's believed and sort of hinted at that Moxley hates the interim title and wanted to have a definitive, this is the title. Let's just do the match.
We all hate the interim title,
which is fair. He proved correct, I guess. So the idea was to do the short match to make it no longer interim, then do the real match later.
Yes. Interesting, by the way, that the Shield folks do not love CM Punk. I remember what Seth Rollins said, and now this,
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like CM Punk.
Well, this is also true, but the Shield guys, they have notably been against CM Punk the past year.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving forward, So there is somewhere that lies in the middle here. And I do think CM Punk was coming back. I still have a hunch it's not out of the question.
Sure.
Personally. You know why? Because until his name isn't on this roster page, I'm not thinking anything different. As much as people want to say he's not coming back.
I can't wait CM Punk to come back, and instead of teaming up with FTR, he teams up with Trench and Parker Bordeaux.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Big tattoo guys.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, CM Punk looks bad, as rightfully so, because when you air out dirty laundry, it's bad.
Yeah.
My favorite part was someone finding the AEW handbook.
Yeah, so that was a different aspect to it. Was at some point Brian Last from the Jim Cornette show gets pictures of the AEW handbook and starts tweeting them out. I wonder who sent them to Brian Last. But starts tweeting out like, different aspects, several different pages, several different aspects of the AEW handbook and how it can relate to this whole CM Punk story.
Yeah, which ultimately it made it sound like he was made to delete the post because it was discouraging AEW and stuff like that.
Well, the post was deleted fairly quickly. If that was to happen, it would have been like Tony Khan or someone saw it immediately, texted him immediately to delete it, and then he immediately deleted it.
Yeah, that's possible. I also think it's possible he put it out there for people to grab and then not have it up anymore.
Correct. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about
it. Though it is a funny little conspiracy to have, I think.
Yes.
You can move forward.
Well, I also want to talk about the. I love he said he wouldn't lose to me. I've never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. CM Punk that like there's like that's like a line of like I've always talked about the ego of CM Punk. That's such a line of like, oh no one. I laughed at that. Me? You can't lose to me. It's Jon Moxley. It's the guy who is certifiably the ace. I would say certifiably became the ace while Punk was gone. Then when Punk came back, and since then certifiably the ace as well. But like the idea of like, it's not like he's saying that to like, I don't know, Jungle Boy or like Darby Allin or, I mean, even MJF. But even then, I wouldn't see that possible. It's Jon Moxley. It's not. What are we talking about here?
It ended up being a bad choice.
What do you mean?
The loss.
We
just went over it. It ended up being a bad choice. I think ultimately, and this is of course, this is looking back now, so I can say this. But you take all those weeks to build to the main event. Not only are people more excited for that main event, but more excited for the overall show. And I remember that being the main problem for a lot of people, is they weren't as excited for that show, that main event, as you kind of hoped people, or as people hoped to be.
Yeah.
But again, hindsight 2020.
But that also felt like the start of Tony Khan's. I'm going to make the first couple weeks slow. The last couple weeks before the pay-per-view a little bit middling, and then we'll do the pay-per-view.
I mean, it feels like the beginning, but at the same time, I mean, there was a match of Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy and Pac that was world title main event once upon a time.
That's true.
So it's not like this is a crazy thing for him. He's still figuring that part out.
Sure.
I just look at all this and it's all petty. It's all annoying, I think, for us as wrestling fans, because at the end of the day, best case scenario is everyone works together fine. CM Punk comes back. It's to ride off into the sunset the way he wants to. That's not in him to not react. It's not in anyone to work kindly with one another, and maybe that's all on him. You can feel that's all on him, truthfully, and I wouldn't blame you. I think it's on pretty much everyone, and I think it all goes to Tony Khan at the end of the day. Well, Tony Khan's the one making this decision ultimately. Punk, there's the part about how he had. I watched this clip how he had to use Danhausen's boot to wrestle that because his foot was still messed up. That was from that presser, the big brawl out presser, because he couldn't find a boot that worked with his foot, and that made me think like, okay, well, obviously his foot wasn't, perfect, but I don't really know what happened with his foot to tell you why he needed a different boot. Anyways, there is just so much going on here, and it's so messy that it's just annoying. It's just annoying for everyone. In the end, I'm not sitting here saying, well, CM Punk's right. Obviously, he's not. Obviously, he's not. But I don't know. We've reached a point here where it feels like every time we get a little bit closer to a resolution, something else happens, and I'm getting annoyed.
I think that's what you just said is a great point and a great aspect to this all is that this only came up it felt like all of a sudden when everything was quiet for a long time. Then it only really started, and that's why I started the conversation at that point. That until Dave said it sounds like Punk is almost coming back to the company, it's just a call for Tony Khan. That is the point where, and I tweeted this out as well. We started talking about this a little bit on Twitter. That this idea of ultimately, I think what happened is someone heard that, someone who doesn't like Punk heard that, and whether or not it was true, they leaked more info to Dave and allowed, and that's the other thing. People are talking about, when I was talking about this online with people, they were saying like, oh, well, I heard that at some point. So, about this legal letter, about these other things. What the difference is here now is that, well, we all, anyone might have heard that story. But what happened is, first of all, also Dave also probably heard that story. But the difference here now is that someone was willing to go, quote unquote, on the record about this aspect to the story that allowed Dave to publish it. Someone allowed Dave to do that. The question is whom? According to then Dave and Brian, they are saying that it wasn't Jericho that told them as well, which is another aspect to this. That it's, according to them, they weren't told about, the Elite didn't tell them the first stuff. Jericho didn't do this stuff. Punk is blaming Jericho, which is fair, but also like, he's not providing evidence, which is the same thing of the issue that he had with the Elite stuff to begin with. All we know it's Jungle Boy, right? All we know it's like Danhausen is licking these stuff.
Well, it might be Jungle Boy.
Yeah, we know Jungle Boy doesn't like him. It could be Jungle Boy for all we know. I don't know. Maybe Danhausen's an evil guy that's playing on. He's very nice, very evil. He's playing on both sides. I don't know.
That would be the ultimate twist.
That'd be the ultimate twist. But someone obviously like approved this story for Dave to talk about, or was able to go on the record about this aspect. I think. Which then Dave talked about, and that then created this whole issue. So, which there's also the conspiracy aspect of it, of that person hearing that for the first time. They probably are thinking to themselves, let me tell Dave this story and he can put this out there. Or tell Sean Ross Sapp different aspects of the story as well. Only put this out there. Knowing that CM Punk is going to get triggered by it and then talk about it. Because that's classic CM Punk. We obviously have seen that. Another aspect to a story that very much confuses me is that the All Out presser, Brawl Out, Chomp Chomp. That presser, he's talking about the Elite and Adam Page pretty much the entire time, right? That's what we believe. And he's saying he's blaming the Elite on these stories going out there. But most recently, as this timeline, this part of the timeline is coming out about his issues of Moxley and Moxley's issues with him in terms of that whole story bit. Why didn't Punk complain about Moxley during the presser if that was seemingly the most recent aspect that he had to deal with in the press conference? Was the build to that title match?
I'll give you the answer.
Go ahead.
Had nothing to do with Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is what drives this man insane. And I guess it makes sense. Your former best friend, in the end, ends up suing you. and so on and so forth. Which, is still the wildest situation if you just think about it. Like,
Mhm.
Punk gave Colt Cabana that scoop, obviously, on his show.
Yeah.
Probably the most listened to episode that he'll ever have. I
Yep.
mean, I know it's over now, but absolutely without a doubt the most listened to episode. And don't get me wrong, Colt did a great job with that show. That was like the real first wrestlers podcast.
Yeah.
But what did they like? What did they expect? Obviously, it wasn't gonna go well. And once he was sued and that friendship was over, anyways, that's probably why.
Mhm.
I think it all comes down to Colt Cabana being the reason why.
His biggest gripe in that press conference at the
Yeah.
time was the
He
Colt
he
Cabana
can
story.
he can deal with the politics of wrestling with like a John Moxley situation, right? He can deal with that. But
Potentially, because there's the
well,
alleged legal letter where he can't
yeah,
figure it out in the
yeah,
locker room. He needs to get lawyers
right,
involved.
right. We still don't know the full details on that.
Yes,
And maybe we never will. Maybe luckily for us, we don't have to talk about this again.
sure.
It won't happen. But he doesn't care to air those grievances, at least. Which, is fine. There is a point here where something's going to give eventually, and either the AEW roster is going to have to accept CM Punk walking back into there, because we have to look at this in the ultimate pro wrestling business sense, people. There have been company after company after company where people work for the same company and they don't like each other one bit. That is literally pro wrestling. Actually, folks, that is literally life. Okay? In a lot of ways, I'm sure people on the WWE roster don't like Vince McMahon. Okay? But guess what? Money talks. Okay? And here we have to get in the mind of Tony Khan. Sure. Will John Moxley not be also happy if CM Punk's in the door? Maybe. But he signed a contract. He's in. He's locked. Will the Elite not? I don't even think the Elite give a shit anymore at this point.
It seems like Kenny Omega had a
I don't think-
conversation. There's a thing going around that Kenny Omega had a conversation with Punk afterwards. That's from Fightful
Yeah.
from Sean Ross Sapp. That
Yeah.
he talked to Punk afterwards, and Punk was like, "This is about you," and they were like, "Okay," and then Omega was just sort of nonplussed about the whole thing.
Yeah, like it sounds like Kenny hasn't given a shit since it happened. Truthfully, which is the least shocking thing of the entire news.
Yeah.
By the way, maybe the Young Bucks probably still care, but that would make sense because it was about them. It
Mhm.
wasn't about Kenny. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like this is a he said, they said, who said, like it's just gonna continue to be that. So ultimately, fans, everyone, we've just got to accept that Tony Khan's gonna make the decision that's best for AEW at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if that's CM Punk walking back in the door and being on his shows, which it might be money wise, so be it.
To that point, though, I remember at the time we were having the conversation of like, this might be coming down to like for Tony Khan picking between the Elite and CM Punk. Which one do you choose? And I think what I've learned also from this story is, in what it's coming down to, it also seems like it wasn't just Punk versus the Elite. And which one does Tony choose? It seems like another aspect to the story was Punk versus Moxley. Which one does he choose? Right. And there was that element of like, Moxley won't do it. And I'm sure there's also like the Jericho aspect. I'm sure Jericho after the Brawl Out did an ultimatum to Tony Khan, I'm sure. But so like ultimately what at
Tony Khan still hasn't fully listened to because CM Punk is still employed.
But employed, there's also the rumors of him having ownership in the company, which creates a whole different aspect to the whole thing.
Now that would be wild.
that is a lead rumor why like there's a lot of these legal issues and why maybe he did the legal letter is because it would hurt his money, because everyone else is everyone's getting guaranteed money. They're not making money off the pay-per-views and shows and stuff like that. So why would it hurt? Why does CM Punk have a
Sure.
legal action against that. That's the idea. But ultimately, my point is that at a certain point for Tony Khan, it started to become Punk versus the Elite, Moxley, and Jericho. And he decided with the other group, which...
As you should.
Yeah, at the time, we were like, oh, it's Punk versus Elite. You can make arguments for both. Now it's like Punk versus like all of
the entire main event.
Yeah, and you're like...
all the originals.
Yeah, and you're like... I mean, yeah, you at that point, yeah, I can see why Tony Khan made the decision he did. Before you go, I also want to point out the John Pollock from Post Wrestling made a great point that also I think sums up what you're trying to say. He wrote a whole piece on it, which I thought was a great piece, but his big quote was, Punk's private unrest is now becoming public. The longer this lingers, it suggests this won't be the last time this subject plays out in the court of public opinion until Khan makes a firm decision and takes Punk out of purgatory.
Yeah, one way or the other, that's what he has to do.
Yeah. He has to make
it's either put him on TV and you move on, or you cut bait and call it a day. It's really all you have choices here, Tony. You would think it'd be a lot easier, but it's not, okay? And this is where the fresh booker comes into play, and you got to try to make everything work, obviously, because there's so much money at play to help your company. Because listen, if CM Punk walks back in the door, guess what? You're making more money. It's just the truth. I know people don't like him now, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
There's still tickets to be sold, merchandise to be sold, excitement to be had for CM Punk versus who knows. But I will say, the last thing I'll say about this, and I think this is my biggest credit to anyone, is that Jon Moxley single-handedly, because of all this, going out of his way to build back up Hangman Page. Shout out to him. That's my favorite part of it all. It's like, this man wanted Hangman Page to get back over so badly.
Yeah.
And not only that, he was like, fuck you, CM Punk. I'm then going to build him back up in a long series that, on the surface to us, it looked like it was by accident that it happened.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was always a plan.
Yeah.
It just happened that way.
Yes.
It didn't happen the right way. The story took a turn, obviously.
But they were able to weave it back in perfectly.
Yeah. Which, that, I think, is my favorite part of all this, is Jon Moxley got Hangman Page back to that top babyface type role that I think we've all been waiting for.
Plus, after all of this, they were able to get Moxley to not only stay or whatever, but he then became not like just a locker room leader, but became part of the team for AEW. He's now training people and coaching and doing these things. The hindsight of all the Moxley angles, he's now more involved with this company than he ever was before, because I'm sure there are aspects where he obviously loves AEW, and he's obviously defending AEW, which I appreciate and I love to see. But you're right. This is a very interesting aspect. And like you said, like John Pollock said, this isn't the last time we're going to hear any of this nonsense. It's going to happen again for sure. Whenever there's an inkling that Punk is going to come back, another story will probably come back. Another angle of this whole thing is going to come out, and then Punk will react. The guy has to learn not to react. That's the big thing there. He has to learn not to, and that will stop him.
He hasn't reacted to a lot, but we found the newest limit for him.
Yeah.
The newest limit was him getting, the report of him doing legal letters and stuff like that. But I still think he comes back, because I just think Tony Khan can't let go. He would have let go by now. If all of this is true, he would have let go by now, but he hasn't.
And obviously hasn't gone to court or anything at this point. I mean, it happened, September, October.
No, if he has an ownership stake, then he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I was like, that's the other thing. Is I'm trying to think. I was going to ask.
He can walk back in tomorrow, and nothing can happen.
I was going to say, I was like, what is this sort of has not Tony Khan made any sort of decision? I think that's a big question. And it's well, if he's just a wrestler, why hasn't he cut them? Or is he trying to keep them and hold them down until he can bring them back and it's less hot? Or is it he can't cut them because he has a contract, an ownership contract sort of thing that he has involved money wise? Is that also another thing? It's that whole question of, why has this seemingly lasted as long as it has? Why has Tony Khan been able to make a decision, unable to make a decision, or is it that is it because he can't figure out an answer, or is it because he cannot give an answer?
Yeah.
Which
We don't know. Maybe we will eventually. I'm sure, Sean's working towards getting, and I'm sure Dave's working towards getting to why
John
this
and
still keeps
Post,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
John Pollock, I'm sure, is working. I'm sure everyone is working towards it and has been. They just can't get the answer.
I'm sure Nick Hausman, starting his new house wrestling media conglomerate, is
Oh, yeah.
a guy who has worked with CM Punk in the past, is going to get some sort of story at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if that pops up this week or some week.
This is all to say that everyone looks worse and worse as time goes on. Okay, everyone.
Sure.
And the person taking the worst hit besides CM Punk, understandably so, is Tony Khan.
Sure. Sure.
It's just because, like, at the end of the day, if these things keep coming out and you still don't cut him, it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I feel like it's like that's where I'm
He
starting to lean
obviously
towards.
wouldn't want to take this image beating, I don't think.
No, that's why I'm sort of starting to lean towards he can't give an answer, which is ironic because of all the conferences he does, and he literally can't give an answer.
Maybe he lucks out because Vince McMahon's back, so it's like, well, I'm not the worst still.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Not that I think Tony Khan's the worst in any means.
No,
but
no. I think Tony Khan's worst issues are not anywhere close to Vince
no,
McMahon's.
no. I just think. Let me ask you this before we move on. What
You're gonna talk to me?
What conversation? Let me talk to you. What conversation is worse on social media over the past couple weeks? Is it the CM Punk nonsense that never ends, like this week, or is it where's the story? Because both have driven me up a fucking wall.
I feel like the "Where's the story" people shut up once the Vikingo match happened, which
You would hope so.
yeah, yeah. The CM Punk stuff, because I also think this at the same time I say that, but like the CM Punk stuff obviously overtook that.
The CM Punk stuff has a legacy to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the "Where's the story" crowd was more annoying because it was like it was such a dumb take, but then also people went so hard dunking on the take.
Yeah.
And
Thoughts? We just give CM Punk's ownership stake, and Tony Khan makes it Ring of Honor stake instead.
That's something. That's something. Put him in Ring of Honor.
And then maybe we can run a real arena while we're doing that.
Let's expand Ring of Honor. Let's do something with that.
I love Ring of Honor. We get to talk about Ring of Honor soon. Not now, but soon.
No, we will. I mean, today on today's episode, we're going to talk about Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But let's talk about
not like right now.
Speaking of Vince McMahon, let's talk about his new his upcoming show that he's directing and producing. WrestleMania night 1, night 2. It's happening.
Hey, no, he's more of a director. I think he's the director.
It's sometimes the
Triple
writer.
H will get the producer credit, and it'll be the director credit for Vince McMahon.
Well, he's the writer as well because they have to say specific terms again.
This is true.
Anyways, WrestleMania is happening this weekend, night 1 and night 2. Happening this weekend in LA at SoFi Stadium.
Kind of came up on us, huh?
It feels like it snuck up on us, and let's talk about that feeling because I'm trying to figure out what that feeling is. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh man, WrestleMania weekend. Okay, let me figure out my calendar. Let me put some stuff around.
It's a lot.
There's
I think it's not their fault as much as it's everyone's fault.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Interesting take.
Well, no, because like the collective is just announcing matches.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And
also, it's not as I don't have enough excitement for the collective and WrestleMania weekend as past years.
Oh, interesting. I have probably more because there's better overall shows for my taste of wrestling.
Sure.
Like the Supercard.
Sure.
Multiverse and stuff like that. Like that's more my taste. I'm not the big indie guy here. Been pretty clear about my thoughts about GCW on this show, except they crowned Masha Slamovich, so they get a little credit for me today. But I think that's part of it because like I've seen people say things about this WrestleMania card. This WrestleMania card is infinitely better than like the past 5. Like I look at the matches, I'm like, I'm more interested in like what that match is, like
Yeah,
Gunther and Drew and
that's true.
Sheamus,
That's true.
as opposed to like most matches.
Remember Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre in like 2019?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Probably no one else does.
That match stunk.
Match stunk.
It was bad.
Stunk.
But yeah,
stunk.
But we got a big old show here. Obviously,
There's a lot of matches.
There's a lot of matches announced. They don't have them all in night 1, night 2 yet. But obviously they have 2 nights.
We have one night 1.
I have here 2 night 1s. I'm looking at Wikipedia. We know. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know. Is the annotation there? Oh no, March 6, 2023. Does it say night 1 here? It doesn't say. They just did a thing. So maybe this doesn't have a night yet, so I'm not going to count it. Anyways, so WrestleMania 39 this is, SoFi Stadium. Let's talk about all the matches heading into it.
Oh no, that is night 1. I'm just looking at it now.
Oh,
I believe that is night 1.
Perfect. Well, let's talk about those. Well, let's talk about the TBD matches first, and then we'll get to night 1, night 2, because those are some pretty big matches. TBD matches here we have, and we'll just talk about various things that we have thoughts and feeling towards. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Of course, Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble, and she is now challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. How are you feeling? Give me a vibe check on how you feeling about this match.
If it wasn't Charlotte Flair, I'd probably have a better vibe check.
That's true.
She's the problem of this match.
Yeah.
Because Rhea has done like the work to get heated up and feel like a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot Charlotte was champion until like 2 weeks ago. That's a problem.
Didn't she come back 2 weeks ago? When didn't she come back 2 weeks ago? When did she come back?
Well, she's been champion for like 3 months. My point is, folks, this is what happens when you are checked out beyond belief.
Yeah.
And that has been the Charlotte Flair problem for years now. Vibe check. If you want to get, I'm going to rate every match out of 10 of my excitement level.
Please do.
This is about 4. And all 4 is because of Rhea Ripley.
Oof. That's a oof baboof right there.
It's not great. It's not a great rating.
Yeah, I was trying to look up.
By the way, it should not main event WrestleMania because it does not have any of the build to main event the show.
So that's also the big old discussion point, is that it seems like there is rumors going around that this match is going to be the main event of night 1 due to, what was the phrasing they used? I was going to say optics?
Sponsorship or something like that.
Yeah, it was like political reasons, I think the phrase was. Due to political reasons, this has to be night 1 main event, which is wild. This shouldn't be the night 1 main event. I can probably name 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll say 5. I'm trying to think of how many matches have more heat than this match.
If we're going off based off of story, which I think you should for a WrestleMania main event, the Mysterios should be main eventing over this match.
Yes.
By far.
I can probably name 7 matches that have more heat than this show. Yeah. And this is going to be the main event? Huh? What?
Yeah.
No.
It's not because I don't like Rhea Ripley getting her moment in the main event. It's because it just doesn't belong in the main event. If Charlotte Flair was like, willing to just do more than say, yeah, I didn't get here because of nepotism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I have watched most of the builds to these matches on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I like to have a mindset going into WrestleMania. What the hell is going on?
It's me watching Impact Wrestling before an Impact pay-per-view. I get that.
Essentially, yes. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
We're doing the research.
Charlotte hasn't done any of the work. Rhea Ripley feels like the biggest star, as she should. And there's only one result that makes sense for this match. If Rhea Ripley loses, wrap her up, send her out because she's done, and keep wasting my time with Charlotte Flair because that's what you've done now for past 5, 6, 7 years. So thanks for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a little heatless. Next match, Raw Women's Championship match, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I mean, talking about heat, do you feel like this match is hotter or colder than the Flair? It feels like it's kind of on par for me. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely on par, but I know it will be a good match. So think that's probably why I'm like, man, it's fine.
I agree. I think Flair versus Ripley has chance to be pretty good. This match, I feel like, has
Yeah.
the chance to be like great. I'm very
Yeah,
excited
and
for this
that's
one
like the
more.
Bianca special at WrestleMania. So,
Plus
right.
the returning Asuka, she's more of an aggressive
Mm,
aspect to her. So I think that alone makes it
yeah.
at least more interesting. It doesn't have
For
more
sure.
heat. It feels like it
No,
feels
not
still
at all.
ice cold, but there is a passable. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is when it comes down to like when I said the cards look better
Hmm.
than the past couple of years. It's because there's a great match. Like, and the one consistency I think in the past 2 years has been the Bianca Belair match,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
First with Mercedes, and now with last year with Becky, which was great. Now
Yep.
Asuka. Like, it's just been huge, great big matches for her, and I know they're gonna deliver
Yep.
because they're both really good. So that's why I don't care as much about the story. I don't know what Charlotte Flair I'm gonna get at WrestleMania. That's part of the problem.
Yeah. I feel like Charlotte Flair, by the way, should like lean more into like the nepo baby
She
drama.
absolutely should. I don't know why she doesn't. She's
It's
literally the reason she
it's
has 14
topical.
title reigns is because of it.
It's topical. Why are we
Yeah,
leaning
it
into it?
sure is. Also, I want to point out my excitement for this match, a 6 out of 10. And that's
What
all due to the match itself.
what was your Flair
Nothing to
Ripley
build.
one?
4.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
4
Uh
was because of Rhea Ripley, 6 is because the match will be good.
Fair enough. Brock Lesnar versus Omos, the Vince McMahon special here. The biggest match, the tallest match. What's the tagline? I don't think they have a tagline, but it feels like they should. The
They probably
largest
have a tagline.
the largest match in WrestleMania history. Omos versus Brock Lesnar. How you feeling?
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be quick. That's the
Yeah,
good part.
that's true. That's
Can't
very
not
true.
be quick.
Yeah, and also there's also the aspect here that Brock Lesnar seemingly doesn't have a contract or he's ending a contract soon or something. So this will be quick. He leaves, or maybe the idea is that he's putting over Omos on his way out as like a favor to one old Vince. That I think is totally plausible. So if you're on the Omos train, baby, if you're one of the fans out there, the Homo sapiens, if you're one of the Homo sapiens, baby, you got to be hyped. Brock Lesnar, I think there's a shot that he puts over Omos.
Yeah, I'm about a 3. I I don't care. Listen, Brock makes magic out of nothing.
True.
But
That's true.
if he's done after this show, I don't know how much he's going to be putting into this one, folks.
He's got to make it out of it without an injury.
Now, if
That's
he's
the goal.
tossing Omos, whatever the hell his name is, around, I might be a little entertained. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Braun Strowman versus Mr. Omos from. They probably did that in Saudi Arabia.
I was going to say,
It
I think
was
that was a
like,
Saudi Arabia match.
yeah, it was like a car crash type match where it's like, oh, this isn't good, but it's like entertaining,
Yes. There's
and
a
that's what I
spectacle
expect.
aspect to it.
Except Brock's a lot better than Braun Strowman, obviously, so there's a little hope.
So it could be better. It could be
Yeah,
real
it
better.
could be. It should be.
Should
But
be.
will it be?
That's the question. And almost had a couple more months of training, so surely he's better.
Probably not.
This is talking about a match I'm super excited for. The
Yeah.
Intercontinental title match, Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. I would have loved if we just did Sheamus and Gunther again. I would have loved if it was Drew McIntyre and Gunther and we just did a singles match, but a triple threat. You know my rule. Make it
men's love and meat.
make it short, make it everybody stay in the ring, just slapping each other around, throwing hams, throwing haymakers at each other, just destroy each other.
Yeah.
10 minutes or less. Chef's kiss. I'm
I
excited
don't know
for
if you
this
get
match.
10 minutes or less. I'm thinking between 10 and 15.
That's probable.
Which is still
That's
short,
true.
obviously.
Mhm.
But
Well, I can't wait for this
it should not go long because of how these three are made up.
Yeah.
that should be exactly as you expected. Bombs, bombs, and more bombs. And it definitely has the potential to be the match of the double night of Mania,
Yep.
obviously. Anytime Gunther's name is on there, it
Yeah.
has the potential,
Yeah.
right? Add in Sheamus, who's been fantastic. Add in Drew, who we know is excellent. I can't see this being anything but a top 3 match at WrestleMania this year.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think this.
Oh, my excitement?
Go ahead.
An 8.
Ooh, pretty good. That's a pretty good excitement level there. I
Gunther's
am
awesome. He should win.
I totally agree. I think I'm very excited for this match. I don't think it's the most excited match I have for me, but I
No,
am
it's not
very
mine.
excited for this match. Um this should be very good. This should be
To me, that's
hard-hitting.
2 matches that should be great so
Yes.
far,
I think this
which is
should be
actually
great.
very nice for WrestleMania conversation.
Totally agree.
And Charlotte and Rhea can be good. I've seen them have a good match in an empty building, so
That
it's
yeah,
not like
I was about to say that
it's not
WrestleMania
like they're
NXT
bad.
title match is pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a title switch here? Gunther has been an IC champion for a long time. If he
Mm,
loses the title, maybe he goes up for world title. What are you thinking?
I can see it happen if they want to crown Sheamus without pinning Gunther.
Yeah, have him pin
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
I wouldn't. I would just have him break the Intercontinental title record
Hmm.
at this point. Because I think that's a record that I don't need the honky tonk man having anymore, personally. And you're so close, I think, that you can wait it out. Because I think he does step up to the world title once he loses the belt.
Yeah, let's see how. What's the reigns here? Okay, so okay, hold on. Okay.
His name is Gunther.
It's Gunta. So the Honky Tonk Man
The honky tonk
um
man. The
had one
honky tonk.
reign for 453 days. As
Sounds like too many.
Gunther, according to this, as of March 26th, has 289. So he would have to hold it for not a year, not a year, but for like 2/3 of a year.
Yeah, I guess he could lose it. Because I think he's I think if there was anyone to step up to the world title scene as a top heel with Roman leaving, you would think it would be him.
Agreed. Plus, let's say Roman's leaving, Cody wins or something like that. They have the whole Royal Rumble end there where they had a preview of a match. I think I might have said that at the time. That's what I thought at the time.
Preview.
So, they have a little program there if they want to do it. And you can
It'd be
spin
a
off
great
Sheamus
title
and Drew McIntyre, no longer friends, now enemies, fighting with the IC title, something like that.
Yeah, more beef.
More beef. 6-woman tag team match. This is not for the tag team titles. This is just a 6-woman tag. This is Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus all against Damage Control. Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. If this match was happening around SummerSlam or the pay-per-view after SummerSlam, I think I would have been way more excited because I was like, yeah, let's go. Damage Control, let's go. And now that Damage Control has basically been Control all deleted, I'm cold. I'm cold. I wish I was warmer. I want to be warmer. I want to have more heat to it, but I'm not there yet. How do you feel?
I'm happy for Io. She gets her big WrestleMania match. That's probably the main reason I'm happy about this match. Otherwise, you continue to misuse the likes of a Bailey, which drives me insane because very clear about how much I think Bailey is one of the better of the 4 horsewomen. She's not okay. Time out. Mercedes is my number 1, obviously, and then for me, at least in ring, is Bailey. Then you could pick between the other 2 depending on the day. So that drives me nuts. But I mean, if they were gonna get a match that is a title match, this is probably as good as you're gonna get. You get to wrestle against Becky, Trish, and Lita, but they're losing. So, probably out of 4 for this too.
Oof. I'm probably more interested in this match than the Flair Ripley one. I feel like Flair Ripley. I'm looking at the card. Oh, not least interested. I take that back. There's easily someone.
There's 2 matches of Showcase that you can easily be less
Yeah.
interested in. You know what? I'll say 5 for this. I'll give it a little nod over the Charlotte Rhea match just because I'm sure that these 6 will do something good enough that it'll be entertaining at the very least.
It's Trish, it's Lita. You know, they
Yeah.
can't really
It's a
go as
little
much
nostalgia.
they can't really go as much as they did before, but you know,
I mean, I haven't
they're gonna
seen
put them
Trish go at all. I mean, she
Good
literally
point.
just does the chick kick every time she shows up.
That's true. That's very true.
I want to say though, you would still have Mercedes in your company if you would have just brought Trish and Lita back to fight Bailey and Sasha once upon a time. I'm just saying that's the only match they asked for, and you didn't give it to them.
You were able to give it to them, have them come in a couple years later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
couldn't quite do it.
It's incredible how much they fumbled that bag. We talk about like the CM Punk. We should talk about how much you fumbled the bag of Mercedes. And I'm coming for your ass next, Gato. Bitch.
Hell in a Cell match. Edge, Finn Balor.
The Demon's coming back.
You think?
Well, there was a promo on Raw Edge told him to bring his Demon. So I think that meant yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been wrong before, but I'm thinking that means, and he's going to bring the devil. So he's going to bring the Brood, Edge, and they're going to have a match, and it's probably going to go way too long.
Yeah, there's a rumor going around that Gangrel. There's a rumor going around that Gangrel's getting flown into.
Well, there's the 5 stars right there. I'm in. I'm in. We're bringing Christian Cage. We're popping, baby. We're popping.
Go ahead.
So I remember when Edge had his last good match. It was in Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins. Now, and I was a fan of that one. Now let me bring us back. Finn Balor today is not Seth Rollins.
No, sadly, no.
At all.
Sadly,
no. Sadly, he is not. Could this be the surprise of the weekend for WrestleMania?
A dark horse pick?
I mean, I'm pretty sure what matches are going to be good and what matches aren't going to be good. And this probably is the only one. It's either this or Charlotte and Rhea that's going to be the surprise of the weekend. Well, I'll give the Mysterios a little credit too, because they're cooking up something spicy over there. I don't know how they
cooking up something spicy.
I don't know how they did it, but they cooked up something a little spicy.
Yeah.
I am not really all that excited for this match. Rhea Ripley's the only good part of the Judgment Day, except Dominic has somehow made me a believer in him being a heel. I don't know how he did it. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm confused. I don't like it.
I think that's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, probably. But this match, yeah, this is nice little 4-piece. Nice little 4-piece nugget here.
I can probably agree to that. It is something that like totally.
I love the Demon, but
I'm not excited about the Demon. I'm not.
I love the Demon 5 years ago.
Yeah, I love the Demon 5 years ago when it was like fine, but like the whole reason the Demon, like main roster Finn Balor and the Demon, is known to have sucked when the Demon was around because you were just hoping for the Demon, then he would do the Demon at pay-per-view, and that was all cool. And then Finn Balor actually said in interviews that he didn't like doing the Demon because it made Finn Balor uncool.
It's true.
Is this worth bringing the Demon back for this?
He's already uncool, so yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, he was cool, and then Dominic
already been
now
replaced by Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic is now the leader.
Uncool.
Yeah, it's a frustrating one. If I was Finn Balor, I'd be like, you know what, maybe I got greener pasture somewhere else. I don't know. But he's in a WrestleMania match, Hell in a Cell against Edge, so that should be fine.
Could be worse spots.
Could
not be on the card.
That's true.
Which honestly, I expected him not to be. So
that's true. There is a friend. Sorry, I mean Fiend that is suspiciously not on this card anymore.
Dang it!
No one wants to talk about that anymore.
Whatever will I do without a Fiend match? Sorry, a Bray match. I mean, no, that Uncle Howdy.
Women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. You have the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus, well, Shayna Baszler and Ronda, probably?
Maybe. Probably
maybe.
Not, maybe.
And a
She'll be out
TBA
there.
team. And a TBA team. Whoever that TBA team is. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say, I don't know, we're bringing back Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. Something stupid. It's going to be a surprise, and we're bringing them back. It's the classic
I
Triple H move.
think it's gonna be like Dana Brooke and someone. I don't think it's gonna be
But if it's Dana Brooke, why are we not announcing that? It's to me, it's a surprise, and I'm like, who is it going to be a surprise in the past? And I don't know, Royce and Kay. Who gives a shit? It's gonna be Fallon Henley and Kiana James. That's who it's gonna be.
Ew. Who the hell are they?
Your NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, of course.
Oh dear. It's funny. I'm oddly looking forward. Well, I'm not looking forward to it because there's a lot of better shows. But I will be watching Stand and Deliver. Anyways, not all of it. I don't know who Fallon Henley and Kiana. I don't even know who they are. Anyways, it's the one. Yeah. This is the bottom of the totem pole, folks, because this is the match that highlights how weak a division this is, and reminds me that the NXT Women's Division is somehow better than the main roster Women's Division in terms of depth. How does that happen? I do not know, because the NXT Women's Division is all rookies and Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, I'm just looking at the alumni section of WWE and just being like, is there any other women's tag team or mashup that we can have like as a surprise or come up that would be interesting here? I'm rooting out the Bellas. I think that's fair.
I hope it's Mickie James.
That would be wild. Oh, and then Impact. And then the Impact thing can happen again. Perfect.
Because it went so well the first time.
I'm just looking at this. I'm like, I don't know. Let's do Michelle McCool and Layla. Let's do Lay Cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be Lay Cool.
Who cares? Who cares? Move on. I don't care.
Nia Jackson, Tamina. Nobody meaner than Tamina. So, gotta keep that in mind.
I just ordered you that shirt.
Thank you. Finally, I can have it. Yeah, there's not really like a lot of anything.
Why? We've talked about this longer than we talked about other matches. What are we doing? Move on.
Men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match again. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
This is going to be the why was this good match of the night. And it's good because it's just going to be like an 8-minute sprint between a lot of good guys. Like, the Viking Raiders, I don't know if people remember, they're actually good. Chad Gable, pretty good.
Pretty good. Had a pretty good match against Cody a couple weeks ago.
Good call. Street Profits, pretty good.
Pretty good. Weird that they're here.
Yeah. Ricochet, decent, I'd say.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, there's my dog. My dog does not like this match.
Your dog heard Braun Strowman and was like, whoa, no. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the match is probably going to be like,
PWG-ish, just light.
Maybe.
Of the light version.
I would love for it to be that. I can't wait for Ricochet to do a Twisted Bliss off of Braun Strowman's shoulders. I think that would be fantastic. I would love for it to be PWG-ish. You have enough movement and workers in here to make up for the lack of some other wrestlers in here. So just keep it moving. Just keep it moving and grooving. That's all you got to do. I assume Scotty has nothing else on the topic. So let's move on to the singles match here. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
Wait, I didn't give you my excitement level.
Oh, my apologies, sir. a great 2, a number 2 in the ring.
Only because I think it might be a decent match.
Singles match, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. They've been building this up for a century, it feels like, but it paid off in spades this past Friday night SmackDown. And by the way, Rey Mysterio will be a Hall of Famer as we get into this match. Will he add some sort of stipulation to this match? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe mask versus career. I don't know. Is that something? No, that can't work. Maybe a mask versus hair. Do a hair versus mask match. That's something. Are we adding that? I don't know. Career, maybe? Is that something? You could do that. I don't know. What do you think about this match?
I think mask and career probably go hand in hand, to be fair.
So Rey Mysterio is giving up his mask. You're saying, okay, I see what you're saying.
If Rey Mysterio gives up his mask, he's also pretty much giving up his career.
True.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what WWE did. but they've made me interested in a Dominic Mysterio match.
Oh,
That wasn't supposed to happen. And I'm not even going to sit here and say, oh, they've done a great job in getting him over because the Judgment Day stinks.
mm-hmm.
But he's done good work with Ray,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which makes sense, I guess, because, his dad's giving it his all, so it makes sense.
Yep.
This match is going to be better than anyone expects. And it's because Rey Mysterio is going to put on like the final great performance of his life
Yes.
for his son.
He is going to do everything in his power to make sure this match is good.
Yep. And I'm going to give you the number. A 6.
All right. All right.
That is like, I think the second highest I've given.
Yeah. That's the Belair
No, it's
Asuka.
tied with Asuka and Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is more because of the story than the match itself.
True.
As opposed to the other one, which
Yeah.
was more of the
match than
the story itself. So
yeah, I get
I
that.
think 6 is good. If I'm excited for a Dominic Mysterio match more than half the way there, then bravo, you've done something great.
That's true. I would totally agree to that point. That is, they have achieved something here. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Now, what happens to Dominic after Ray's out of the picture? Ruh-roh.
Great point. Well, he's got Finn Balor in his group, so that's
And the Demon.
the Demon. You got the Demon in his corner now, man. What do you need, Ray? Tag match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team title matches, title championships, whatever. The Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's right, it's Wrestlemania, folks.
I was so confused when they revealed the shirt the other day. I was like, Wrestle Zayn? What does that mean? Because it covered like part of the eye, so I was like, "What?"
You were just like, I have no comprehension.
I was like, "What
of
is the point of Wrestle Zayn?" And then he said Wrestle Zania. I was like, oh.
So this match is obviously should main event night one.
Absolutely.
Even though we say this and like ultimately WWE, it obviously doesn't matter for political reasons, but totally has the vibe of this should be a main event of a show. This is one of
I think in main events. I will boldly say I think in main events.
This is one of your biggest storylines heading into this pay-per-view. This is
heading into any WrestleMania in years.
Yes, it should be bigger. Could be bigger if Sami Zayn in the world title match, but beyond that, this is one of the biggest storylines you have in years with Sami Zayn. This should be good. I mean, this should be good. I see no reason why this shouldn't be any short of greatness.
You ready for this, folks? 9.
Yeah, baby.
A 9 level of excitement. And maybe it's because I expect an emotional shout out to the Briscoes in this match from Snerico.
I can't wait. There's 100% going to be a Jay Driller into a Froggy Bow, and it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a devastating near fall where I lose my shit, and it's going to be great.
Well, do you think they'll allow him to do a Jay Driller now that I think about it?
A Jay Driller? I don't know. It's going to be a tough call.
Yeah,
it'll be a tough call.
Someone's gonna do a Froggy Bow though. We know that.
Yeah. They'll do like one of their tag moves, like full on tag moves.
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna do the shoulder tackles.
Yeah. They're going to shut out Jay and Mark in one way or the other, which is very cool. When Jay passed away, this was like one of the things where I was like, well, the tag match possibility, it brings up a chance for them to really pay their respect, because they can only do so much, I'm sure. But this should be really good. Yeah. I know, like we've all said, like the Usos obviously aren't the best tag team in the world, yada yada yada, but they're not bad.
No,
the Usos are not bad.
No, but I would argue that they are one of probably the best WWE tag team in the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's either them or New Day.
Yeah.
It's not. No one else is in the conversation.
And New Day have the advantage of being 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. So they stayed fresh in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
They had different ways of doing it. The Usos have just been the Usos.
Yeah.
I think Jay's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he stood out, obviously, but I think these two will have a great match. If they get the main event, they will not let us down.
Yeah.
because we know who's winning this one. This one's predictable. We know Zayn and Kevin are winning. Should be a great moment. Should be your main event of night one. I'm legitimately excited for it. Let's go.
I know. I say we're talking about doing a Briscoe sort of tribute. Let's just go full hog. Let's there's one match stipulation that has somehow made its way not on this WrestleMania card, and they're trying to get it onto the WrestleMania card. Let's just go full hog. Let's make the tag match a ladder match.
I'm shocked they haven't done it.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's no ladder match. I know we all don't like him anymore, but let's do ladder match for the tag titles with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus two brothers. Let's do it. Let's go full hog in that tribute, baby.
Yeah, that would be another level of tribute. That would be great. I hope I know like this is a thing, but wrestlers are always backstage for WrestleMania or the crowd. So I hope Mark's watching.
Yeah, baby. I really hope so. Other matches announced as well for night one. Austin Theory.
Casually, just 3 more matches.
3 more matches left.
Matches.
Austin Theory versus John Cena for the United States title match. This has been formally announced now. Theory versus Cena, and Cena's really hinting at it.
One.
What's that?
Kicking off night one.
Cena has been really hinting at it that I don't know, man. This could be the last one ever for Cena.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I think he just never knows.
Yeah,
obviously, right?
Sure.
So like, this is a real match that he's actually having,
mm-hmm.
and we haven't seen him have a real match since Roman, right? SummerSlam.
Yep.
And that was still kind of a pipe dream in a lot of ways. He's doing this while filming.
Yes,
right now, like he's doing what The Rock doesn't do, and have that dog in him. Like he's like, yeah, I'll be there.
And by that you mean show up at WrestleMania this year?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm happy The Rock didn't show up, by the way. But that might be a hot take. I'm happy he didn't show up. I like the story better.
Yeah,
but that's because I'm a nightmare. Was he Little Nightmare? Is that what he called the kids the other day? I'm a little nightmare. But anyways, back to Austin Theory, John Cena.
Yeah.
They're gonna put over their future guy, and I think that's perfectly fine. That's what they probably should be doing. Obviously, if Cena wins, though, I will laugh. I will get a good laugh. I will celebrate, and I will say, so Cena's wrestling twice in the next 2 days. Got it. Because he will not hold the title more than past Raw after WrestleMania.
100% true. Yeah, I don't expect Cena to win. I think he's totally like putting over Theory in this spot, as he should. Especially if this is his last match, then he loses U.S. title match against Austin Theory. He's the next new guy. You need to crown this man, and obviously, Vince is there. He's going to try to crown this guy. I think that's the goal.
You could feel how you want about Austin Theory. I think we all do in one way or the other. But getting over the next guy is still always the right choice.
100%. It's how wrestling works.
Yeah, my excitement level 6.5 just because of Cena.
Yeah, it's not a hugely excitable match. It's just like we kind of know what's going to happen. We think we propose.
We do.
Yeah. Kind of feeling what's going to happen, and Cena might not be able to go that much if he's filming stuff. He's no way he's ring shape ready. I know the guy works out like a beast, but there's a completely different body you need to have, even though they look very similar, between acting and wrestling. Yeah. So
he's leaner now.
Yeah, he's very lean.
This is like this is the spectacle match.
Yeah.
For me, of the entire Mania. I think that's probably why it gets 6.5, is just because of that part of Cena. Because I don't like Austin Theory. I'll be perfectly honest with everyone. I think he's fine. I think he's a fine actual wrestler. Don't like him.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I look forward to a good way to kick off WrestleMania. You have Cena kicking off the show. Not a bad way to do it.
You got those trumpets going off at first. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Now the match that I'm really excited about.
I mean, I mean, kind of match of the night for match of the weekend.
I was gonna
for
say
me.
it's probably gonna be the best match of the entire.
I hate that I'm
both
saying
nights.
again. We say it every time. I hate that I'm saying it, but this is probably gonna be match of the weekend. Singles match between Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Man, get into it. This match,
Logan Paul, the workhorse.
Talk about work rate central.
Sorry, the Maverick.
The Top Gun Maverick.
Hey, good movie. I don't really give a shit about the story. I've watched it. It's funny. Seth Rollins is a funny guy. Logan Paul is hilariously heel. You know, Logan Paul literally just plays Logan Paul.
Yep.
So
Beautiful.
it's like, all right, that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Based off of what we saw between him and Roman, I think Seth's a better wrestler than Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So
yeah, can I agree to that?
So I would sit here and say this match will be better than that match, and I thought that match was great. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Number 8, right there with the triple threat.
Ooh, but not your most hyped. Not your most hyped of the weekend. I think you had a 9 in there somewhere.
Oh, we're about to have my most hyped, baby.
Little Mr. Little Nightmare over there.
Little nightmare over here, baby.
Little Nightmare Stan. Yeah, no, this match be good. I mean, what more do you need? It's insane how this is going to be a match of the weekend. It's insane that I'm dropping 4.5 stars on this. Like, I hate that I'm doing it, but again, he's keeps going.
To say, it could be the match of the week.
I don't know.
It could be. It could be.
There's
if
a couple
GCW lets me down, but Ring of Honor is probably going to give me the match of the week, no matter which form.
Yes,
there's like 7 different ones that could give me it.
Yes,
so I expect the match of the week to come from Ring of Honor, but this will at least challenge. I think
I agree.
At its best form, it can absolutely challenge for that.
I can totally agree with that.
Thank God that there's a match on Mania that can do that.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
And it comes with a guy that has 4 matches to his name.
And he's
Let's
great.
go.
And he's great.
He's so good.
Night 2, your main event, undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Will Cody be able to finish the story, or Roman Reigns hold the title for another year, probably? And
at least till he gets to 1,000.
Yeah, and hold it and beat Bob Backlund, beat I was gonna say Pedro Morales. I don't know if that's him. I don't think that's him. And beat who the fuck am I trying to think of? God.
Hogan?
What?
Hogan?
No, I don't give a shit about Hogan. Get him out of here. No, Bruno.
You give a shit about Bob Backlund?
Bruno Sammartino. That's who I'm thinking.
He's not touching Sammartino.
I want him to touch
3,300.
I want to touch Bruno Sammartino.
Roman's gonna be retired before he would get to that number. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do it. Get it, baby.
Get it. So this is like, I'm invested in this match when I actually this got me to write an article about WWE. It's been a very long time since I've given a shit to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean it with my whole heart. WWE needs Cody Rhodes more than they've needed anyone in a long time. You feel it every time he shows up. Listen. We talked about the Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns thing, right?
Yeah.
You and me talked about that ad nauseum and how, they had their chance, they blew it. But at the end of the day, you need that next world champion to be a full-on world champion, I think.
And not just a full-on world champion, a guy that is a legitimate draw, a guy that is a legitimate merch seller, a guy that can move tickets. This is, no joke, a must title win for Cody Rhodes for WWE.
Yeah, it's more important for WWE than it is for Cody Rhodes. Somehow that has happened.
Yes. 100%.
This is their only way to keep anything in their company interesting once the Bloodline story disintegrates. Because
it's barreling towards the Bloodline story being over.
We reached. I thought we reached the climax of the story at Elimination Chamber.
Agreed.
I'll admittedly say they got a little more life out of it because Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes,
as he does.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
This is a full-on 10 for me. I expect to be let down in the end. No matter what, if Cody wins, I'll say I was not let down. No matter what. I don't give a shit how the match was.
Sure.
This is going to be the most Cody match we are ever going to see, people. I hope you know that. Sure, Roman has his own thing. Guess what? Cody does too.
I can't wait for Cody to go for a disaster kick and then get speared out of his boots for a 1, 2, 3, baby.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for Cody to hit the gold dust move and then the bionic elbow and then 7 crossroads just to get kicked out. Gonna be great.
Can we talk about it? What's your crossroads count? Am
I serious count?
I'm thinking 3. He hits, not goes for. He hits. I'm going 3.
Goes for 100. Hits. I'll go 4. I'll go 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Roman kicks out of a lot.
Because 100% the closing stretch of this is he hits one, then hits a second one back to back, and then that's the win.
You know how I said,
100%.
You know how I said that? Yeah, he's gonna scream at the camera. I'm gonna get fired the fuck up. Then he's gonna hit it again and hit it again and hit it again. And then 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes should be your next world champion.
I'll say will be.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he lost. Legitimately shocked.
I would be, because what that would do to me.
He's their new ace.
Yes. It would be a huge financial idiotic move to have Cody Rhodes lose. And I get it. I'm an AEW freakazoid, but he is legitimately a draw. It will hurt his star rating, his star status if he loses. He will not be as big of a merch seller, not as big of a draw if he loses. He has to win. And Roman can just go off into the sunset till SummerSlam.
Yeah, Roman deserves his break.
Yeah. Go on vacation like John.
He's pretty much already taking a break, but you can take another break. It's fine.
Take a break from the first break.
Listen. I think they've built this story very well. I've watched every segment of this for a reason. I think Cody has never been as good as he is right now. Yeah. And that's coming from someone who loved his initial run in AEW, at least, until we got into all the messiness of he can't have a title anymore and yada, yada, yada. Yep. Even though I did like his TNT title run, the original one. That was great too. So pretty much until he got the title back and lost to Darby, I'll say. Mm-hmm. That to me was his first run. And then everything after that was like, what the hell is happening? This is, I think, the best he's ever been. Yeah. As a performer, as a main event star, he feels like the biggest star in at least WWE right now. Totally agree. By default, that for a lot of people means in the business.
Yeah, totally agree.
So credit to him. Finish the fucking story.
I think on that note, let's move right along for the New Japan Cup. We only have 3 matches to talk about there, so I think we can...
and then we can take our break.
Well, I was thinking, do we do New Japan Cup, then take a break, and then come back and talk Stardom, and then WrestleMania weekend? Or do we do New Japan Cup, Stardom, take a break, then do WrestleMania weekend?
I think it's the last one.
That's what I'm thinking. That feels
It won't take too long to get through these 2 things.
No. And I think the Stardom Cinderella thing, I mean, we're not going to go through match by match because it's going to be like, oh, that was a draw. That was a draw. That was also a draw. So I don't think... Nonsense. I think that's going to be more of a vague topic. Nonsense. And also, you're the only one that watched Stardom this morning. So, I mean, it's going to be on how quick you go through it, I guess. But I think there obviously... I think really we should talk about the 2 matches from the semi-main and the main event for the New Japan Cup finals. Because they were both really good. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match, Hiromu Takahashi defeats Lio Rush to retain his title. What'd you think about this match?
Lio Rush is so good. Yeah, he's... Oh, by the way, I watched that Jacob Fatu match finally that you told me to watch. And again, he's so good.
Yeah. I got another Fatu match for you, baby.
Yeah. Like, Lio Rush, he has become a complete performer.
Yes.
I think we always knew he was like the most athletic guy in the ring anytime he stepped in the ring, right? This guy is like an absolute blur in there. But now he has hard-hitting strikes. He's got just this great match build, this great energy about him. I want him to win this damn match so bad. And maybe that's my Hiromu non-bias right now also, but I really wanted him to win. I thought this was great. Probably Hiromu's best match since. Give me a second. El Desperado. Once upon a time.
Which year?
What?
Which year for El Desperado?
The final that they had that one time.
No, I totally agree with you. This was the best Hiromu match I've seen in a while, and you know my feelings on Hiromu.
And it's because of Leo Rush.
I was light on the Yo match earlier this year. I was light. I talked about it on the show, and I was like, it wasn't that good. You saw it, and you're like blown away. And I
was blown away by Yo. It hasn't been Hiromu.
No, but he stepped up. He stepped up big time for this match, and he needed to for me. If he
had to keep up.
If he sucked in this match, I'm like, fuck it, screw Hiromu, get him out of here.
He had to keep up, and I think that's why it was so good.
Yes.
Right? Because he had to turn back the clock.
Yes, and I think he did successfully. I think he did a great job. I thought Leo Rush was fantastic as always. This was the first of 3 4.5 stars I gave out this past week. I'm throwing out stars left and right, baby. This is the first of 3 for me.
Trying to guess.
Yeah.
Well, I know which one of them are.
Okay, give me a guess. Give me the old guess.
Kenny and Vikingo.
Yeah.
This one,
yeah. Third one.
I don't even. What happened this week?
Third one's gonna shock you yet again.
Is it MLW?
Yeah, baby. MLW is back, baby.
What was it?
Jacob Fatu versus Hammerstone.
No way.
Yes way.
That's insane. Now I have to watch.
I said it was better than the Leo Rush match. It's way better than their match from like last year, that super fight match from last year, but that was partly because Hammerstone was injured. This match ruled, dude.
Holy. All right.
The crowd was hot. They were into it.
Well, that's a big difference for MLW. They've never had a hot crowd in their life. Excuse me.
They've been running Philly for like months now. Yeah.
Yikes.
Remember how MLW was like exclusively out of Florida, and now all of a sudden they're out of Philly for some reason?
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. What was a super fight? Huh?
Yeah. This ruled so much. I thought it was great.
Holy shit.
Great.
Well, that's your match of the week, I guess.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Spoilers. That's my match of the week. Sorry, Vikingo. Go back to Mexico.
It's okay. That means I get to call that my match of the week.
Yeah,
perfect.
Got an easy peasy one. This is the special match of the week segment of the show that we always do at the end. But anyways, I thought this match was fantastic. Leo Rush obviously stepped up. Hiromu really stepped up for me. Really proved he earned back some points of like, all right, you can stay, Hiromu. Stick around for a little bit. I'll have you back still.
I need Leo Rush to win this belt.
Same.
I need him in Best of the Super Juniors. I need him to win the belt.
I cannot wait. New Japan Cup final match. We got Sonata versus David Finlay. Of course, it was obviously not as good for me as the Hiromu Leo Rush match, but I thought it was pretty good. It was Sonata who ultimately won, defeated David Finlay, and obviously is now going up against Okada. I listened to the most recent episode of Okada Shorts, our New Japan podcast on the Countout Network, and they have a whole show dedicated to the finals of New Japan Cup and talked about the finals in length. But I thought, I believe it was Ray Raff that made this point of Sonata didn't his new look is great, but his wrestling didn't necessarily blow anyone away, didn't blow him away. And I agree to that. It didn't really blow me away. But what it did do was revitalized him enough, and I saw enough extra aggression stuff in there that he is now believable again. He has potential again. He's not great now, but it's now before I was writing him off. Now it's okay, Okay, I'm back. I'm starting to get back onto the Sonata train a little bit. I thought this was a very good showing for the new Sonata. I was okay-ish. I was better on David Finlay here. I thought it was pretty good. What do you think of this match?
That was fine.
Just fine.
I thought Sonata was really good.
Okay.
I think Sonata's in an interesting spot because if he were to ever win that top title,
Which
it would be now. It would be now.
yes, which is which if he loses, sorry,
And I still expect him to lose.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see this newer aggressive Sonata
Mhm.
against the Okada we've been seeing this year.
Yes, agreed.
I think this could be the best match these two ever have, which you and me have been very open about.
Mhm. Mhm.
It can be a little hit or miss with these two, because the matches are so long and they often aren't really anything until the last 10 minutes, which I know some people feel that way about a lot of New Japan, but it's especially with these two. So I am looking forward to it. I think the new look is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Sonata looks like $1,000,000. Um, it'll be interesting to see what David Finlay does now. I think him and Tamatonga obviously make the
Mhm.
sense. Did they set that up? Did they announce that
I believe they have. Let me double check
for
and check.
Secure Genesis?
Yes, I believe they did announce that for Secure Genesis. Let me double
That's a good one.
check.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see.
yeah. So I'm all good with the decision to give Sonata the crown.
They
I'm
did
interested to see what they do.
they did not announce it for Sakura Genesis. I thought they
I
did.
thought they did too. Did
Let
they
me see.
announce it for one of like the
The Road Twos?
yeah? It'd be weird if they did, but
No, they didn't.
oh
Interesting.
my god, they have graphics for Azumi and Hazuki. I am in shock.
Checking.
Wow, that's a really good show.
I don't think they have it for Capital Collision or Collision in Philadelphia either, so maybe not. There's a
Maybe I was
pure.
wrong.
Wait, hold on. What the? What?
What?
Collision in Philadelphia. Alex Coughlin versus Tracy Williams in an ROH Pure Rules match.
Yeah, because Tracy Williams was Honor, which excites me if Alex Coughlin is also Honor.
Ooh.
It's a good spot for him to dive into. Anyways, it was a good match. When I said fine, it was like it didn't blow the socks off or anything. It was like
Yeah.
it's fine. Which I kind of expect.
Yeah, I mean, I went 3.5 on it. Ultimately, I wasn't
I
like
think it's
I
fine,
wasn't,
too.
but I thought it was way better than I thought. I talked about this. I'm not a big Sonata guy. I was interested about his thing, but I didn't really see enough. I thought I saw a little bit more here, and I
You
was
have hope in Sonata now.
yeah. And David Finlay, I was like I was out. I'm getting out of David Finlay, and this brought me
David
back
Finlay's
in.
So interesting because he has good things about him.
Yes.
I think you're absolutely right that this V1 will do him a lot of good.
100%. David Finlay feels like to me. I keep saying it because this is what I think of when I see David Finlay right now. He feels like Jay White pre first G1. That post Wrestle Kingdom Tanahashi match.
Ooh.
Not that great for me. He's figuring it out, and then he'll go in the G1 and do a lot of character work.
Yeah, I think you're right. But Secure Genesis looked absolutely phenomenal. So
yep, hype for that show. We'll talk about that show next week, I think.
Maybe we'll try.
I think maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks from now.
No, it's next week. I think it's on the 8th. Yeah.
So next week.
Boy, howdy. That show's looking great. Obviously, we know what match I'm most looking forward to, but otherwise, I'm also looking forward to the Bishamon.
Yep, Aussie Open match.
Aussie Open rematch.
There was a 6-man tag.
Most.
There was a 6-man tag on this New Japan Cup Finals match that was really pretty good. Between Bishamon and Okada and Jeff Cobb and Aussie Open.
Oh, we didn't talk about Robbie Eagles and TMDK. That's pretty cool.
Yes, after the Hiromu match, yes, they announced that he is joining TMDK. He's the next challenger, and they announced that, of course, for Sakura Genesis.
I like TMDK. I like the mold of it.
Yes, I agree. I feel like that also has big American appeal. TMDK.
Yeah, thank you to Jonah for leaving. Anyways,
You're right. Ever since Jonah left, I mean, Team DK, I liked Team DK before, but ever since he left, they really hyped it up.
They added Zach.
They added Zach, and which added way more personality, and now they added Eagles, which is kind of
Kosei Fujita.
And Kosei Fujita.
Which is so weird because Young Lion having a thing is weird, but I like it.
I'm into it. Let's talk about it. Stardom Cinderella Tournament Night 1. It took place last night.
Boy, howdy, what a night.
So talk about it. We're just doing the overall discussions here, obviously. We're not going to do...
Only 18 matches, folks.
Only 18. I know you've been dying for 18 draws.
We had a wrestler trained by Robbie Eagles join the crew.
Yes, that was Xena.
I believe her name is Xena. Yeah, she's joining Club Venus. She was on. I did my homework. You're welcome, everybody.
Yep.
She was on Australian Ninja Warrior.
Ooh, all right.
So she got obviously an athletic background.
Yep. She beat Hina, which is not really a surprise. But,
not a big shock at all. No.
Now she has to face. Yeah, now she has to face Tekla, which I'm sorry, Xena. I'm sorry that has to happen.
Yeah, it was a good run for you.
Good run
for you. But this is the Tekla's house. So 36 competitors entered last night. 23 were eliminated.
Yeah, so let's you want me to quickly go through each?
Yeah, you should check out Fightful's results page. I think they did a really good job.
No, I'm not going to Fightful's. I think they did a crap job. I'm going for to represent Stardom Road. Got Trent at One Up Culture. He's got a bracket for me.
I will kill you. You go to Fightful.com. He did a whole review. No. You go to Fightful.com. We're not doing this monthly Puro shit on the show. No.
Fine. I'll pull up Fightful. Just Trent's got the visual. Does Fightful has a visual component to this article?
There was the bracket as the image. What else do you need? I gave you the matchups. Listen, I love Trent, but no, that's not what we're gonna do here.
All right, fine. I'll look at Fightful, written by some scrub, probably.
That's the truth. Never said I wasn't a scrub.
So we have, I assume this is in order of the show. This is the first round results. This is Waka Tsukiyama, who was the X who defeated Lady C. She got her first tag team victory the night previous, and she was able to get her first singles victory here against Lady C.
It's over for everyone now. Waka knows how to win.
We got Sai Ida versus defeats Miyu Amasaki. So yeah. I joked about Tekla being the only great person, but Sai Ida's right there, baby. Sai Ida's still in the running.
It was a good night for Ryan.
Yeah, baby. You're a homeboy. We got Ami Sarai defeats Yuna Mizumori. We got Starlight Kid versus Haruki Umasaki, ended in a draw after both fell over the top rope.
Time out. I just want everyone to know I picked Starlight Kid to win. Continue.
I think I did too. No, did I?
You picked Micah.
I picked Micah.
Continue.
We'll
get there.
We got Xena, who was the XX, defeated Hina as a new member of Club Venus with Mariah May and I was gonna say Momo. That's not right at all. And Mina Shirakawa. And Zion Brookside is nowhere to be seen.
She's coming to the US.
Collision, right? Collision Philadelphia.
I hope that's who they send for Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Cinderella tournament first round. Mariah May defeats Rina. Saki Kashima defeats Momo Kogo. Mirai defeats Hanan.
That was really good.
That was also not really a surprise to me. Mirai defeats Hanan. But it was a good one. It was a good one.
It was really good. Yeah.
Tekla defeats
preview.
Tekla defeats Koguma.
Tekla's on top of her game right now.
She's always been on top of her game. Natsuko Tora defeats Raka. Shuri defeats Tomoaki Inaba, how was that?
Really good.
I can't wait. Azumi versus Suzuki ended in a draw with both going to the top rope. Makes sense.
Night for me.
Match of the night. Wow. They're coming for Mercedes.
If you like high speed, you're gonna have yourself a time.
Perfect. They're coming for it. They're coming for that high speed title. Not high speed.
Here we go. Here's the big one.
Mai Sakurai defeats Julia.
She hit a superplex to Julia off the apron, and her feet touched the floor last.
Julia's feet
hit first, so she was eliminated.
Wow. Hey, yeah. That's a big elimination for Mai Sakurai. She has that in her
it was actually
holster.
Really good.
I can't wait. I was on board of the Mai Sakurai chain way before Waka, before people were into Waka. I was one of the first ones. I remember I do this a lot for Stardom a lot, where I remember being like, I'm kind of into this person. People are like, nah, don't be into that person. They're not that good yet. And then all of a sudden they become fan favorites. And all of a sudden they get pushed a little bit. I was on that with Mai Sakurai gets a little bit of a win here. I'll say it. I was on that with Mina Shirakawa, and people made fun of me.
You
for
were
rooting
there.
for her.
I'll give you Mina Shirakawa as definitely credit. I could not tell you if you were actually telling the truth about Mai Sakurai, because I don't remember that conversation that we talked in depth about Mai Sakurai.
Well, I wasn't in depth. It was just I think she has potential.
I will say, I thought Julia and Mai had a really solid match. I don't think she'll get a world title match, but you never know.
5-minute squash. She's still not there yet, but Natsupoi versus Mina Shirakawa, where it ended in the draw with both women falling over the top rope. Saya Kamitani versus Mayu with a over the top rope finish.
This looked like they ended the match a little too early. It was like 3 minutes.
Did they do 4 matches in a row with only with 3 of them over the top rope?
This is when people started to get a little annoyed online.
I'm not surprised. Momo Watanabe defeats Maika. So you have 4 matches in a row. 3 of them are over the top rope. And then you got Momo versus Maika, which is, I don't know, I wouldn't say controversial finish, because I know people will support Maika. But on the other hand, it's Momo, so it's like you have that. But I don't know. That's an interesting.
I popped out of my seat, baby. I was amped.
That's fair.
It was like a victory lap for me. I was like, "Yeah, if my winner ain't winning, yours isn't either." So she hit a meteor off the top onto Maika, who then went crashing to the floor.
Was it good?
It was good. Yeah. No, those two don't have a bad match.
Utami Hayashishita doesn't defeat. Tides gets a draw, time limit draw versus Nanai Takahashi, the only time limit draw of the night.
Let's just point out that Waka could beat Nanai and Utami couldn't. People don't talk about that.
Then Tam Nakano defeats Himeka. Sort of ends.
Tam Nakano destroyed Himeka
really
with a violet screwdriver. Like, I was like, oh my! It was the most brutal one she's hit.
Really?
I was like, these folks are telling Himeka, yeah, if you're leaving with with no neck. Okay, sounds good.
Wow. All right. Well, that is night 1. Your next matches here are going to be
wild tournament.
These are all quarterfinal matches, right?
No, this is second round, all going into quarterfinals.
Okay, copy that. So this is going to be Mariah May versus Mai Sakurai. Winner faces Momo in the quarterfinals. We have Shuri versus Saki Kashimon. You know who I'm talking about.
Kashimon.
Yep. Winner faces Waka. That'd be wild. Waka in the quarterfinals. It could be Waka and Saki. I could see that.
Waka.
Natsuko Tora versus Tam Nakano. Winner faces Ami Sourei. That's interesting. I think if Tam wins that one, she's beating Ami Sourei.
You would think so, yes.
Yeah, Julia did lose to Mai Sakurai, so who knows? Mirai versus Saida. It sucks to see Mirai lose this early. And then, of course, Tekla versus Xena. It sucks to deport her back to Australia.
Hell of a road we've had here. It was a really exciting show to watch live. Because like the surprises just didn't stop, obviously, and it's like, all right, you guys put your hats, your tinfoil hats on. So let's just get crazy. So now I have no idea who's gonna win, but my gut is telling me that the new favorite is actually Mariah May.
Really? Why do you think that?
Because I don't see anyone else on that side of the bracket getting to the finals.
This is a new report has come in out of RevPro. This is coming from at El Destructo 83, aka Curtis of Okada Shorts, who is currently at the RevPro show. He just tweeted this out a minute ago. A picture of Dan Maloney as the newest member of the United Empire. Is that true? Is that true?
That was Dan Maloney.
Rev Pro standard, I would say. He
Oh yeah, he's the one that people tell me is decent.
yeah, I think he's pretty decent.
Look
According
at that.
to his picture, he is on the turnbuckle throwing up the United Empire symbol.
Yeah, that seems like it would be it then, huh?
So there we go. Dan Maloney, possibly, presumably.
Whoa, boy, howdy! That looks like a good match.
What was the Dan Maloney match?
Warrior Wrestling ran the Velocities versus Top Flight last night.
Yes, I saw that.
Free on YouTube.
Going to see that as soon as I can.
Can't see the Vikingo match though.
Can't see that at all.
Why are you the only company allowed not to show it, huh? Why? Why?
You know how?
Why?
You know how Cody said that he's going to
awesome.
put all the companies he worked for on his Wrestlemania belt?
Yeah.
He tweeted out the belt.
Oh, let me go see it. Let me live reactions to the Little Nightmare from a Little Nightmare over here.
It's very
live reaction from the Little Nightmare.
Do you want me to DM it to you?
Oh my god, he legitimately wrote every single one on the belt.
But where did he write it?
On the inside.
So no one can see it in the tiniest font imaginable in pen?
Evolve, Northeast Wrestling, PWG, VIP Wrestling, Chaotic Wrestling.
We're not going to read them. We can't read them all. We can't read them all.
I'm reading them all, shush. Wrestle Pro.
Is AEW in there?
That's what I'm looking for. I think he did an order. All Pro Wrestling. Pro Wrestling Magic, ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I don't see any AEW on there.
It's absolutely blocked out. Bastard.
This bastard. He knows what he's doing. Probably.
He does. Love the belt though. Coming from the Little Nightmare. Love the belt. It's not about the nightmare, it's about Cody. He brought I kind of love it. Okay, here's why, folks. A little Cody lore for you before we hit the break. Cody, remember they took away his last name? So that's why Cody's on his belt and not Rhodes.
Whoa.
See? Little lore moment there.
Is this what we call psychology?
Oh yeah, because people toss that around like it's nothing now. Yeah. That's in-ring psychology right there.
I love Bully Ray saying psychology, and then I watch his Impact match, and it sucks ass. Anyways,
I didn't watch. The moment you said we didn't have to watch, I was like, all right, not touching it.
I watched the entire show this morning right before we recorded.
You watched the entire show? Do you want me to just get you a sign that says I hate myself for your forehead? We'll talk about that later, by the way, folks.
Hating myself?
No. No, the happenings of Impact.
Yeah, we'll get to that news first. So we're going to take a quick intermission. I'm probably going to guess like a 10-minute intermission at best. We'll be back. We'll be back at 12:30, I think. The stream is going to be live.
We're going to refreshen up. A little break, maybe a little snackage, and then we'll come back and finish the show.
Yes, but we'll come back. We'll be talking WrestleMania weekend. Our map, our roadmap, our plans, our matches to watch, our shows to watch from WrestleMania
everything
weekend.
We'll review next week.
Our plan to review everything next week here. We're going to talk about it all when we get back at 12:30. We'll be back from a quick intermission. See you all later as I pull up the intermission music. Oh my god. See you all later. Bye.
Enter a world of wonder.
We back, we ballin', let's fucking go. Oh yeah, I can't hear you. Hello, everyone.
There we go. Oh, we're back. Thank you. There we go. I figured it out. I forgot to spin one dial. As classic Ring Post Radio fashion. Yeah, sorry. I was going through. Yes, is in fact true. The rumors are true. Dan Maloney accepted a armband for the United Empire from William Ospreay himself. So, Sky's going for it. Sky's going for the hand sign.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Isn't it just this?
Oh, it's this, yeah.
Yeah,
I figured, yeah.
UE. Yeah, good. I think that's a good pick. Dan Maloney in the United Empire. This guy is, I think, a good standout heel in a Rev Pro. So
little Dan Baloney action.
Little Dan Baloney action. Hey yo, it's me, Dan Baloney.
Dan Baloney here.
Hey yo, Dan Baloney. Got any mustards for sale? Don't know why the guy's interested in mustards, but that's what he is.
Was not interested in mustard. Am I right or am I right?
You want to know my favorite lunch meat?
Baloney?
No, Spam. I just love Spam. That's it. Put some nice smoked Gouda on top of it.
All right. The people aren't having any of this.
Dan Baloney, sure. Nice to meet you. My wife Cheryl has yelling at me down the road.
What have I done?
Oh man, Dan Baloney.
What have I done?
New fan favorite character on the show. Yeah, so we're back. Ring Post Radio. I'm sure this. The problem is
nightmares gotta eat, boys.
Little nightmares gotta eat,
and girls.
So the problem is, do I cut this out for the audio version, or is Dan Baloney a live version only, or do I do a formal intro back?
Yeah, you gotta be here for the Dan Baloney. Not the Dan Baloney. You ever play the Tony Hawk game?
Which one?
I don't remember which one it was. That's the problem. Where there was like these people like holding up signs and like not the Holy Baloney or something like that.
Would you be surprised?
Bad description.
Would you be surprised to know, just like Rocky, I've never played a Tony Hawk game. However,
ask me which one.
However, I have played a Tony Hawk video game clone called Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure.
Probably better.
In it is a great game. You play as Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Zurg, Jesse, young
Toy Story. I'm buying this tomorrow.
Young Pumbaa, young Timon and Simba.
You know my second dog's name is Pumbaa.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Came that way, and we were not changing it.
No, yeah, I get that. Let me give me this roster here. Disney's.
You want to know how big Pumbaa is?
Your dog or the animated?
Not the
warthog?
Animated. Not the animated warthog.
What?
Pumbaa's maybe 5 pounds.
Wow.
Of dog. Yeah.
Of pure dog.
Maltese Yorkie mix.
Of pure baloney. Disney's
pure Pumbaa. What are we doing?
We're talking about Disney's playable characters from Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. You got Woody, you got Buzz, you got Jesse, you got Zurg, you got young Tarzan, you got young Jane, you got young Tantor. I know you all love Tantor. You got young Turk. You got Simba. You got Nala. You got Timon and Pumbaa, and you got Rafiki. Plus, you got a bunch of human skaters like Miles, like Ryan, like Jonathan, like Lil Romeo.
Whoa! Time out. What? There's a wrestler named Tiller Bucktrot.
Yeah. Well, that's his actual shoot name too.
That is amazing. You can't change that.
Yeah.
That is an incredible name. Continue.
The soundtrack for this game also kicked ass. We got Sell Out by Real Big Fish. We got Get a Clue by Simon and Milo. We got Pacific Coast Party by Smash Mouth. We got Spinning Around by Jump 5. We got Where's Your Head At? Where's Your Head At?
Oh, we got a big shock.
Where's Your Head At?
Big surprise. Big shock.
What's that?
Lio Rush has showed up to challenge Robbie X for the Cruiserweight title in Rev Pro, and it's happening now.
Wow.
I came to collect.
Well, hopefully he came to collect some titles.
I hope so. Lio Rush should win more.
Well, I guess technically he did come to collect the title, and then it's just a matter of whether or not he wins.
Yeah,
wins the title.
let's do the rating up here.
Do you think we got enough people back for the show now that we've been going for a little bit? Ready to talk about WrestleMania weekend?
Left because of
Oh man, we love our listeners. Anyways,
love you guys.
Let's talk about WrestleMania weekend. We went through last week, you and I, right after we ended the show, to sort of put together our roadmap, what we plan to talk about, what we are looking for in terms of wrestling, what we're hoping to see, what matches we want to see, and all the other yada yada yada.
Oh,
but we went through the entire run sheet, picked out a bunch of shows that we're interested in for WrestleMania weekend. Beyond WrestleMania, of course, we'll talk about those. What were you going to say?
I just feel the need to say that AEW added to this yesterday. Those bastards, right? You got a little Adam Cole and Danny G kicking off the week, and we got freaking Kenny Omega and Jeff Cobb, because why the hell not?
Yeah,
because that's what we do. I want to say that Stardom added to their Cork and Hall show on Sunday. Miyuki Takase will make her Stardom debut because she's teaming with Omega, but also Prominence defends their titles against the Queen's Quest Big Three: Utami, Saya Kamitani, and Azumi. So because for some reason we didn't have enough wrestling next week, we now have more wrestling next week.
I can't wait, baby. We're coming to collect, as it were.
I came to collect.
Let's talk about WrestleMania weekend. So, of course, kicking off with AEW Dynamite. I can't wait for that. But then, of course, we'll have Thursday. This is where we're really getting into it. This is an order of shows for as they are premiering, I guess. We all have the PST time. So that's another thing you have to remember, is that all these times are PST. So we're on the East Coast, so we have to adjust accordingly.
Some of us, me, will be fine. Some of us, Ryan, will not.
I will be watching a lot of these shows at work, or probably the next day
when they're over.
When they're over, yeah, probably. But we'll see how we're gonna we're gonna do the best we can. There's a lot of shows.
To be fair, if they were during the day, you probably would have watched them during work.
Oh, I watched them easily during work last year. That's an easy one right there. Yeah, so I'm gonna do my thing. I'm doing my thing, as the kids would say.
Do my thing, chicken wing.
Interesting. Interesting. So let's talk about WrestleMania weekend Thursday. At Thursday at 4 p.m. PST, we have two shows that we're interested in talking about. First off, we'll talk about Bloodsport 9. No, let's kick it off. Let's kick off right. Hitchcock Memorial Show, Thursday, 4 p.m. PST. This looks like a top-down. It's the Hitchcock Memorial Show. It always tends to be a potential show of the year WrestleMania weekend. I think this always tends to be the show that has the most interesting stuff on it. I think this is always the show that's the most must-watch show. And this year, I don't think it's much different. I think there's a lot of great stuff on here.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the show of the week, and that's not their fault.
No, there's some Ring of Honor came to collect, and
they not only came to collect, they came to dominate. They went out of their mind.
And Impact New Japan, I think, did the best they can. They had a great show, and then it kind of we'll talk about it.
Listen, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
because I got some thoughts.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Hitchcock Memorial Super Show. So, first off, we have a Tokyo Joshi Pro 10-woman tag team match. They have not announced the competitors, if I'm not mistaken, yet. But we'll have some sort of 10-woman tag team match. We'll have a 6-man tag team match: United Empire, Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis versus Time Machine, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Kushida. We have another 6-man tag: Arez, Latigo, and Toxin versus Aramis, Ray Horus, and Galeno Del Mal. Remember that big fridge dude from GLEAT? He's back, and he's in this match.
Big frigid, dude.
You got Rocky Romero versus Michael Oku. Rocky Romero replacing Josh Alexander, who got moved into a different match to make up for Davey Richards and his issues. So we got Rocky Romero versus Michael Oku. Then you got Brian Keith and Kenta versus Tom Lawler and Josh. Nope, never mind. Josh Alexander's out of this match now. They're gonna have to book a third match and have some sort of replacement for Josh Alexander / Davey Richards at this point. So we don't know who that is, but Brian Keith and Kenta versus someone and Tom Lawler. We'll also have Ultimo Dragon versus Negro Casas. We'll have Shingo Hiro Irie versus Mike Bailey. And we'll also have...
That's going to be great.
Yeah. We're also going to have the AAA Mega title match, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Black Taurus versus Commander. So, on the day before the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor show, you have a triple threat featuring Vikingo and Commander before they face each other for the same title the next day. But we're going to sprinkle in some Taurus action into this match. So that should be very good. What are you most excited for this show? What are you hoping for? What are your thoughts? Give me a vibe check on this entire show.
I'm gonna go back to what I did with the WrestleMania thing. I'll do it for each show.
Okay.
Do my excitement level for each show out of 10.
Please.
This is about a nice 8.
Yeah.
Nice 8.
Yeah, baby.
It's very nice. That main event's gonna be stellar.
Mm-hmm.
The 6-man with United Empire versus Time Machine, that's gonna be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Irie versus Mike Bailey should be great.
Irie and Mike Bailey, it's gonna open a lot of people's eyes to how good Irie is if you've never seen him before. He is fantastic. I love that guy. It'll be Speedball's first big match of the week. You know, someone sent to me like, who's gonna be the Mike Bailey of this year? I was like, well, probably Mike Bailey.
Good shot. I mean, there's a good shot as Mike Bailey.
He has the best lineup by far of any.
Was it this show last year that did the bounty?
What?
Was it this show last year that did the bounty show? Wasn't there a show that had like a $10,000 cash grab for whoever had the best match in the show, and it was like Mike Bailey versus Bandito?
Bandito, right? Yeah, that sounds right.
I wonder if they're doing that again this year.
I don't know, but that should be great. Yeah, this is top to bottom. I'm excited about TJPW getting a little showcase match too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and I want to put this out there for everyone that's listening to give you an idea of where this is on. This is going to be on highspots.tv.
Yes.
Which makes life a little difficult. But
yeah, so they're not doing the big old fight package this year. No one's doing a big old fight package. It's just individual streaming subscriptions. In a way, obviously, it's cheaper, but now it's not just all on fight. You need now a highspots.tv subscription thing.
It's so much cheaper though.
It is $15 a month or $150 a year. That is the
$15 for that show.
Which you also get. So on that package, it looks like you get the WrestleCon Super Show. You get the Prestige Show, Prestige Wrestling Nervous Breakdown.
Okay, that's worth it.
You also get a lot of AAW, the Chicago indie. It has a lot of their stuff on here as well, and they're a pretty good indie. And also you get like a lot of the you get old PWGs all on this as well. So that's all I think worth it as well. It's good. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think I probably get this for a month. Maybe I buy this in April because I don't know when I don't know how their monthly subscriptions work. If it's like billed on the first of each month.
Sure.
But that would be my one nervous thing. So I might wait till April. I don't know, but
I don't think they do that.
I don't know.
Mostly just Japanese companies do that.
Yeah. But so that will be on High Spot. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I think that both 6-man tags I'm very interested in.
We'll review that one for sure.
Yes. I think
I'll watch that whole show.
Yeah, the triple threat is going to be great. Irie, Mike Bailey's going to be great. Brian Keith and Kenta versus whoever and Tom Lawler should be great. I mean, I was excited for that match before. I was excited when Josh Alexander replaced him. I was excited. I'll be excited for whoever it is. Brian Keith and Kenta is a great, interesting team that I just love that dynamic.
I find it interesting Gresham's not wrestling at all this week.
No, he's not.
Nor is Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace has her bodybuilding thing, I think, this weekend.
That might be why. And Gresham's just supporting her, which, hey, can't deny a wife guy.
Yeah, good for him. Passing up, the busiest weekend of the year, but that's fine. Good,
Bold move.
Good for you.
Bold move. I guess they're making the good bucks at Old Impact Wrestling. Another show that is happening on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST. It is going to be GCW Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 9. You can watch this, of course, with the Fight Plus subscription, which is only like $5 a month, I think. It's like $5 or $7 or something like that.
It's a steal.
It's a steal. The GCW, all this stuff is steal. We talked about it at the time, realized like, instead of $150 for each thing, it's like $5, $7 for the entire, all these shows. So
I can't imagine how they're making more money.
I don't understand how. Because even the individual like shows were like
10 at least.
Yeah, so they're losing money hand over fist, I think.
But thank you, I appreciate it.
But maybe the idea is that it's cheaper, that more people will sign up. I don't know. So you have a bunch of people. We got Calder McCoy versus Jeff Cobb. I know everyone's a huge Calder McCoy fan.
Never heard of him.
We have Mike Bailey versus Kota Ibushi. Have you heard of him?
Casually. His first match back since the G1 finals in 2021.
Yes, he has not wrestled since 2021, and he's finally wrestling this Thursday against Mike Bailey, of all people, in Bloodsport. So it's going to be a slightly different match, but, if it's going to be Striker Ibushi, then it should be pretty good. Bad Dude Tito versus Yuya Uemura. I like that one. Johnny Bloodsport versus Royce Isaacs. This is, of course, Johnny Dreamwave. This is, of course, Johnny Dreamwave. You all know who that is.
I'm not doing it again. I'm
Nope.
not doing the name thing again.
I
will, though. No, I'm just kidding.
We got Calvin Tankman versus Eric Hammer. Now, who is Eric Hammer? Well, of course, he's the guy that only wrestles at these Bloodsport events.
Oh.
The only other time he ever wrestled was for the Inoki Genome Federation back in like 2014, 2010, 2011.
That's a Josh Barnett special if I've ever heard of one.
Yes. And he lost to Kazuyuki Fujita in 10 minutes to not win that title.
As he should.
But yeah, so he just does the Bloodsport thing. He's like a Josh Barnett trainee guy. And Calvin Tankman, he's pretty good. Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus JR Kratos. We got Killer Kelly versus Marina Shafir.
That's not happening.
Huh?
That's not happening. Do you think Davey Richards?
It's Davey Boy Smith and JR.
I heard Davey Richards. I was like, that's not happening. He retired. Davey Boy Smith versus JR Kratos. That sounds like your type of match.
Yeah, baby. Killer Kelly versus Marina Shafir. We have John Moxley, who was supposed to face Davey Richards, and then all that went down. So now it's going to be John Moxley versus Alex Coughlin. I think that's a great showcase for Alex Coughlin if he can do it. I'm excited.
Well, I think he can do it.
I agree. And then, of course, your main event is going to be Josh Barnett versus Timothy Thatcher. How are you feeling about this show?
I know for a lot of people, this is like their top show every year. It has one of the highest highs of any show, obviously with Coda and Speedball.
Yep.
But I will not be watching the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the thing about Bloodsport is that there's sometimes when I like Bloodsport. It's a grapple fuck show. It is one of the things where it's like the highs can be high, but the lows can just be middling, dribbling shits.
Real bad.
They can be real bad. The show can be a big old wavering of the two. I can tell you from experience that being in the room is going to be a lot better than being outside the room. In the room, it feels awesome. It feels like you're watching Rocky the Musical on Broadway. But being outside the room, there's going to be moments where it's going to be a little bit boring. But I think the highs of a Moxley match versus Alex Coughlin, a Barnett match versus Thatcher, and a Kota Ibushi match versus Mike Bailey. I think the highs, it's those highs warrant a must watch of this show.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will review both Kota Ibushi matches. That is a guarantee.
That's a ring post guarantee. What's your number? What's your anticipation number?
5.
All right, that's pretty good.
It's not bad. There's like 4 matches I'll probably check out.
Yeah. We got DDT Goes Hollywood, baby. The DDT show. This is not in conjunction. It's not the GCW DDT show. This is just DDT on Fight Plus.
All three of these on Thursday?
So far, yes. Show is happening Thursday at 8 p.m. PST. This is on Fight Plus. The show you have here are the Pheromones.
No, you don't want to watch this.
Versus
Folks,
Takagi Army.
Not want to watch this.
Sanshiro Takagi and Michael Nakazawa. You have Andrew Everett and Nick Wayne versus versus Higuchi. Kazusada, that's what I thought. Higuchi and Masada.
That match, everyone, watch that one. Not only because Nick Wayne's good and Andrew Everett's good.
Yeah.
Higuchi's good, but Masada, he's the next big thing in DDT.
We have Saki Akai versus Vert Vixen. A little Vert Vixen showcase match here. Chris Brooks and Yoshihiko versus Mao and Shunma Katsumata.
Yeah, there's no shot I watch Yoshihiko.
Konosuke Takeshita versus Yuki Ueno.
That will be
good.
One of the best matches of the collective, if not the best. Because
that has really good potential, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this match, I don't think the highs are as high for me as some other stuff, but the lows are nowhere as close as the lows. I mean, the Chris Brooks Yoshihiko one is like a little bit of like, I wish that would be better. But,
is that the whole card?
No, we got more. We got Joey Janela versus Tetsuya Endo. And I presume main event is going to be a tag team match. Eddie Kingston and Jun Akiyama versus Daisuke Sasuke and Cannon. I assume that's pronounced.
Yeah. I will be watching that just because I have to.
Yes.
I'm happy for Eddie. I'm very happy for Eddie.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of fun stuff in here. I'm not the most excited of this night. This is my least excited show, but yes. I think there's enough in here that's interesting.
That's not really their fault.
No, I mean
it's a packed day.
It is also DDT at the end of the day. I mean, they're not a huge promotion.
If you gave me the option to pick a Puro company to come over, they would not have been my first choice.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, we all would have won in All Japan, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, Kento in the U.S. would have been a sight to see.
That would have been awesome. I'm surprised why haven't. I know, like, it's DDT and all that stuff, and they're working at
they're
GCW.
All Japan. They're not just. They're not.
They could use it though.
Some other places.
I think they could use
all
it.
Japan. Yeah. That would be...
But that's that. The other show that's happening at the same time, New Japan Impact show, Thursday, 8 p.m. PST. This is the Impact Wrestling New Japan crossover show, Multiverse United. Only the strong survive.
Once upon a time, this was Ryan's most hype show of the entire week.
And in 2 weeks' time, the show crumbled. Not crumbled. It got a little bit better.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's just not it's no longer a great show. By the way, DDT rating, I forgot. About a 4. Mostly for the Yuki Ueno and Konosuke match.
That's fair.
They'll get my excitement.
That's fair. So this show at one point in time was my most hyped show, and it's not as hyped. There's still a lot of great stuff on here, I think. I think this is definitely a show to watch. They announced another match that I'm very excited to talk about. They've added new proponents.
Is Kushida no longer wrestling on here?
No.
At all?
No. So the big news that came out of going into the show is obviously there's 3 news bits. Number 1, Ospreay. We talked about it last week when we realized Ospreay is injured. He will not be wrestling on the show. And that is in fact correct. He is out. He is off the show. And his replacement is Hiroshi Tanahashi. So that will be Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Mike Bailey.
I just want to just think about that.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you can't get Ospreay. Let's give you arguably the greatest of all. I mean,
solid
you
replacement.
Get worse replacements.
No, it's definitely going to be a different style of match than what the Ospreay one was going to be, but still going to be good. Still going to be good. What are the chances Mike Bailey wins? Are they better or worse?
Worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way Speedball is beating Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Can't agree to that. Can't totally
care
agree
what
to that.
age she is. I didn't think he was winning either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. I think, in a way, if I was Impact, I would try really hard to have Mike Bailey win this match.
Yeah, good try.
I know it's a good try. I would give Tanahashi as much money as I can to convince him, because another match that got completely canceled off the show is Kushida versus Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander announced on Thursday, I believe it was, that he has going to surgery, and he has to vacate the title belt. That means the Kushida match on the show is gone. It is now going to be Steve Macklin versus Kushida at Rebellion, and for a Impact World title. So that match is completely off the show. Kushida's not working the show right now. Something could come up. Maybe he pops up somewhere. I don't know. He was booked at one point, but there's nothing for him right now. So part of the reason I think I'm bringing this up now also is that someone needs to replace Josh Alexander, and I don't like that we're doing Macklin versus Kushida. Honestly, Scotty, it should be Mike Bailey. And that's why I'm like, if you can get Mike Bailey to win this match and then beat Macklin, Macklin holds the title for like a day and beats Macklin for it, do that.
Well, I think Macklin was always winning.
I agree. But at this point, you don't have Josh Alexander anymore. You need someone else. Macklin can't do it.
Like, for the way we watch Impact, it makes sense. But from what I've been told, Mike Bailey's character isn't all that good.
He's not. Well, no, Impact. He's not. I'm also watching Impact. He's not. He doesn't really have much of a character. Okay, what's that?
I said you watch weekly, so
yeah. I'm a diehard Impact. I'm an Impact head, obviously.
You're an Impact
driver. Is that something? No.
Impact.
Something. He's not the most interesting guy. He's not really able to do all the promo and personality stuff because he's just sort of like awkward. But I mean, you need a wrestler, and Josh Alexander wasn't the most like charismatic guy to begin with. But you need something.
Yeah, but he handled it well.
Agreed. But I don't think Macklin. I don't know. I don't know. I like Macklin.
Better as a face now.
Yes, I like Macklin, but here's
my pitch. Here's my pitch that they won't follow. You have this guy on your roster,
yeah,
and some of you may have heard of him. He's really good at being a heel everywhere else except for this company.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Alex Shelley.
Interesting.
I've considered in my head making him a heel, crowning him, and kind of coming back around for a big Steve Macklin moment. It's not going to happen, obviously, because I think Steve Macklin's better fit as a babyface. Everything about him screams, "Oh, I should cheer for him," and then he's just a heel because he is. I've thought Alex Shelley would make sense. I like your idea of Speedball, obviously, especially as a babyface guy to go against like my idea of Shelley. They have a lot of work to do because their entire being has been Josh Alexander for the past 2 years.
Yeah, great reign.
Yeah, great reign. Sucks that it had to end this way.
Yeah, totally agree. Other matches on the show is the strong openweight title match, Kenta versus Minoru Suzuki. That should be pretty fun.
Sure, why not?
Sure. We got Moose versus Jeff Cobb.
Sure, why
not? Weirdly athletic big dudes. That's what that match is. Another match that got changed. Mickie James has suffered an injury. And by the way, real quickly about Josh Alexander, talk about the timeline of when Josh Alexander must have been injured. Didn't seem like he was injured last week. Something must have happened over the weekend. I wonder if it was that dastardly Lucha Cup from AAA. Where Josh Alexander wrestled one match.
It absolutely could have been.
Remember last week when I said I was going to watch the entire show?
You didn't watch any of it.
I watched the entire show.
Was it bad?
It was fine.
Missable.
Easily skippable. Nothing great. Another match that's obviously been changed. Mickie James has suffered injury that has prevented her from defending the Knockouts title. And will do at Sacrifice. So she did not defend the title at Sacrifice against Jordan Grace. That match was completely off the show. She will not be able to wrestle on the Multiverse United show here. She's not vacating the title yet. She is just going to see. She's injured, but she's going to see if it's nothing or going to be better, and maybe she'll wrestle at Rebellion if she vacates. But if she's clear to compete by Rebellion, then it'll be a triple threat with Jordynne Grace and the winner of this match. This match is now Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Miyu Yamashita, favorite New Japan wrestler Miyu Yamashita, and Masha Slamovich. So you have a great tag team there of Miyu Yamashita Slamovich.
The match got better.
Match easily got better. I mean, Miyu was in there and you're like, whoa, great stuff. And then Masha's in there and you're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Strap in, baby.
Match, like, no offense to Mickie James, but Masha Slamovich is better than Mickie James, so thus it got better.
Yes.
Yamasha's gonna be in the United States for Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell not?
They also already announced that she's going to be wrestling on Impact Television.
Yeah, this week she wrestled Killer Kelly last night at the tapings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about you, but I would just have her win. Why not? She's gonna be there.
Yep.
She's a more listen, if you didn't absolutely use Masha to hell, Masha would be the choice for me.
Yes.
But she wasn't even in the match to begin with. Deonna Purrazzo is obviously like easy to go back to try to lean on. Giselle Shaw is someone that they're pushing.
But I don't think is there yet, personally.
No. I think Yamashita and Grace alone is good. So I think that's what I would go with. I would legitimately go with Yamashita.
Yes.
Sure. Do I have a little more hope for Yamashita than most? Probably. Do I have a little bias? Yes. But do I care? No. Impact needs something to help them.
Yes.
I think Yamashita would be part of that.
That could maybe be a fun little pop, and this match could be a showcase for her.
I'm not even saying give her the belt. I'm just saying put her in the pay-per-view match. Yeah. She'll be there.
I agree.
But she's wanted to work Impact her whole life.
But I also think have her win the title. Why not?
Well, absolutely. But I just I'm not getting my hopes up.
We have an X Division scramble match for the X Division title. We have Trey Miguel defending his title against Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and Rocky Romero. We also have Impact.
That's a good one. That should be fun.
Yeah, I think that's a fun little match there. I like Clark Connors and Kevin Knight being in that. We have the Impact World Tag Team title matches. We have Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending the title against Aussie Open, TMDK, and Motor City Machine Guns. Again, I really like this match. 8 competitors I like, all in one match. Very excited
I would
for it.
consider, if you want to get Kushida on the show, you could always pull a tag out of this and put him in a match.
What do you mean? Pull like
give the fans a special match, like whether it's Sabin versus Kushida, Shelley versus Kushida, and then you can have one of them do something else on the show too. I've just considered that because like I just watched, Prestige lost Josh Alexander. They were doing Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey tonight.
Yep.
And they said, "Oh, okay, we'll go get Chris Sabin."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. And like, I don't know. I feel like not having Kushida on this card at all stinks.
And you think a good idea is just let's, instead of doing Chris Sabin, put in Kushida instead. Chris Sabin can wait a night. It's not a bad idea.
I mean,
they're not going to win, so who
Chris
cares?
Sabin works for the company.
Yeah,
like he's like a legit. He's part of the team.
Yes,
there. So I don't think he would be that upset if he like didn't have to wrestle in a 4-way tag.
yeah. They're not. And Machine Guns are not going to win either. I think.
Or you could do a fun triple threat time machine. Like why the hell not?
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That'd actually be fun. I would do that.
I would totally do that. We also have a wild 8-man tag here. Fred Rosser, Alex Coughlin, PCO, and Callahan versus Eddie Edwards, Joe Hendry, Tom Lawler, and JR Kratos.
None of this makes sense.
No, I think 3 of the people on this team are baby faces. Are we saying Callahan's a baby face? I don't really think he is, but
I don't think so.
I don't think he is either. But yeah, this is a huge weirdo 8-man tag here. Let's just grab a bunch of guys, throw them in, call it a day. Classic WrestleMania weekend fashion.
Yeah.
We also have. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's just an absolute clusterfuck.
Hey, and it's not even spring break. It's not even the spring break show.
I know.
And of course, we also have announced Countdown to Multiverse United, the free show beforehand. I know you're excited about this, Scotty. Do you know this one? Yuya Uemura versus Gabriel Kidd.
That's good. That's good stuff right there. Yeah. That's the good stuff right there.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, you saved your show.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Also, Gabe Kidd randomly coming in. Why is he not on more shows?
I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. That's fine.
I'm getting Gabe Kidd and Eddie Kingston again. I am hyped.
Yeah, that should be good.
Different week, but just wanted to point that out.
That is Thursday. What's your feelings? What's your vibe check on the Impact New Japan show?
Originally, I was probably at like an 8 or 9,
mm-hmm.
and then it got put through the ringer, so I'm probably down to a 6. But type of show that can definitely blow us away, I think.
I totally think so. I think the talent is there. All they have to do is just work. Everyone's just got to work hard, and I think they can really have a great show.
Listen to my triple threat idea.
Not a bad idea.
Scott D'Amore. I know you're listening, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Book it. Time Machine, triple threat.
Why not?
Tell us all the time.
That is Thursday. That is what we think is worth watching on Thursday. Let's talk about Friday.
What we think is worth watching the entire week. The entire day of quality. Yes.
On Friday, we have kicking off the day at 12 at noontime PST. We have Tokyo Joshi Pro live in Los Angeles. We have
PWG spot.
Yeah, baby. Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki versus Maki Ito and Miyo Yamashita, which I believe has been announced as a tag team title match.
Big time. Big time.
We have Miyu Watanabe and Shoko Nakajima versus Heidi Howitzer and Max the Impaler.
Interesting.
Hyper Misao and Trish Adora versus Raku and Yuki Aino.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know you're not a huge fan of Hyper Misao and that whole group.
Pretty much the entire match except for Trish Adora.
Yeah. Trish Adora feel like she sticks out like a sore thumb here, honestly.
Yeah, it's a weird match to put her in, but happy she made the show.
Hirokari Noah and now Kakuda, thank you, versus Arisu Endo and Suzume.
Should be a nice little match there.
Rika Tatsumi versus Billy Starks. Is that also a title match?
Now it's a title match.
Yeah.
That should be very good.
That should be very good. And we also have Yuki Kamafuku and versus Janai Kai. That Tokyo Joshi Pro. How do you feel about this show?
Because they made the 2 matches title matches, I think they got me up to a 6.5.
Yeah.
The rest of the cards, meh. But those 2 matches should really stand out.
I'm glad they formally announced them as title matches. I had a feeling they were going to be that way, and then when they announced it, I was like, okay, good. That makes this show more watch-worthy for me.
That should be a standout match for Billy, by the way.
Billy getting a lot of standout matches recently.
As she should. She's quite good. She's she's really turned it up the past couple months. Really since the new year started.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
She's also on everything, so that probably helps. She is literally on everything. Last week she was on AEW, Ring of Honor, and MLW.
It doesn't say here on Cage Match. Where is that show available?
Globe Theater. Oh, that's on Fight. You have to buy it. $20.
Not on Fight Plus. You have to buy it on Fight straight up.
No, because it's part of WrestleCon.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to be on Fight.
Is it going to be on? Do you know if it's going to be
Wrestle
on
Universe?
Yes.
Probably not for a while.
Yeah, that's what I think. Let's talk about 4 p.m. PST Prestige Nervous Breakdown taking place. It's also on highspots.tv. I really think this would be a good show here. Let's talk about it. Midnight Heat, Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson versus Mystery Person. Because they can't do stuff. And Warhorse, Vinny Massaro versus Calvin Tankman, Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, Yuya Uemura versus Cody Chun, Guillermo Rosas, and Sonico, the C4 team in Sonico. We got Taya Valkyrie versus Miyu Yamashita. We have a way more interesting match. Aja Kong versus Masha Slamovich.
Oh, poor Yamashita. But yeah, Masha and Aja, I'm very much looking forward to.
Shingo Hiro Irie versus Kevin Blackwood. I'm very
That should be
excited.
interesting.
That's very exciting for me. West Coast Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Title match: Tyrus Alexander versus Michael Oku. And then we have the 6-man tag here: Alex Shelley, Kushida, and Ultimo Dragon versus Tom Lawler, Jor-El Nelson, and Royce Isaacs, Team Filthy.
Couldn't get Chris Sabin.
Oh no, he's working. He's working an Impact show, so he can't work another
The
night.
day before.
No, he can't work another night.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this little show here?
I'm probably about 3 or 4.
Let me talk about. Let me say. Let me try to get you excited for this. Ready? Midnight Heat, I think, are a great tag team. I think they're really, really good. C4 are fantastic, and that 6-man tag against Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and Yuya Uemura, that should be great work all around. Aja Kong, Masha Slamovich, that's just an interesting match right there. Irie Blackwood are going to kick each other's heads off. I know you're not a huge fan of Michael Oku, but I think him and Titus Alexander should be a great match. I think Alexander, I don't know what kind of crowd it's going to be, but if they are following Prestige at all, they're going to boo the crap out of Alexander, and they will probably cheer the crap out of Oku because he knows how to do crowd control.
Wait, I thought Titus Alexander was a heel in West Coast Pro.
Yes, but this is a West Coast Pro title match, so I presume he's going to be playing heel, and he will be booed. And Michael Oku will get cheers a lot because he knows how to do crowd control really well.
Big respect to West Coast Pro. Just saying, now we're good this week.
Yeah, I love it. And then Shelley Kushida Ultimate Dragon versus Team Filthy. I mean, that should be fun. Don't you want to see Tom Lawler mix it up with Ultimo Dragon?
Like I said, 3.5, 4.
Interesting. I do think that's a very interesting show. Did I put that one on the list? Maybe, but I think it should be a very interesting show nonetheless. Let's talk about Spring Break 7. Joe Janela Spring Break 7 at 8 p.m. Not 7 p.m. 8 p.m. PST on Friday. We only have a couple matches announced so far, and I assume there's going to be the clusterfuck and a bunch of other nonsense. I think the clusterfuck every year, especially recently, is totally skippable. Don't even bother with it. Just watch.
Wasn't Sean Ross Sapp in it last year?
Yep. And I believe Denise Salcedo was in it, or maybe she just eliminated.
I think
Sapp.
she just low blowed Sean.
Yeah. So fun stuff there. We have here on this show GCW Tag Team Title match: Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne, the East West Express.
It could be good.
I think that's 3 out of 4 great wrestlers. We got Mike Bailey versus Vikingo, El Hijo del Vikingo. That should be great.
That's the one, baby.
That is one of the ones. That is certainly one of the ones.
We have many ones. That is one of the big ones. Wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah.
When does this show start?
This starts at 8 p.m. PST.
And when does Ring of Honor start?
3 p.m. PST.
Okay.
We got
that was 4.
4 is the Prestige show. Oh, no, sorry. The Ring, yes, it is 4 for the Ring of Honor show. That is the ring time. I did 3 because I presume they're going to do a free YouTube gimmick.
All right. I was like, is Vikingo wrestling twice in the same show at the same time? No,
but he is going to be wrestling at Supercard of Honor and then driving across town to make Spring Break 7.
He'll have plenty of time.
Yeah. So Mike Bailey versus Vikingo post Commander match. So should be good. But he's gonna be tired.
I think he'll be fine.
We have a tag team match. They don't have competitors yet, but it's going to be Maki Ito and Nick Gage teaming up against somebody.
I will be watching.
And we have a singles match. Joey Janela. We all expected this was going to be the case. Versus Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi does not know who Joey Janela is.
I had to think. I was like, that's funny. And then I was like, is it a work? Is he doing a thing?
Is he actually being Kota Ibushi?
it could be both. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
It's an interesting match.
I'm going to watch it.
Well, yeah, that's for damn sure. I told you, we're not missing a Kota match.
I think one of the... This is going to be a big old compliment. This is Ryan's big old compliment. I think Joey Janela's best strong suit is his selling. And I think him versus Kota Ibushi should be very good. And he will sell the crap out of Ibushi's nonsense. I think it'll be great. So I'm very excited for this match.
I'm excited. You want my rating?
Yes, please. He's thinking.
Pretty good show. It's a pretty good show.
There's only 4 things announced. Now you also have to keep in mind the clusterfuck is on here, but that is 100% turn off the fight stream.
Will not be watching it.
It'll start at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. EST, and it'll end at 4 in the morning. Do not watch it.
What? When does the show start?
It starts at 8 p.m. PST. I'm just saying that it's starting
at 11 p.m.
I think our time, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it's gonna. The clusterfuck is gonna be 1 in the morning for us, and it'll end at 4 in the morning because it'll be a stupid 3-hour event.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with 6 because of the clusterfuck. It hurts the score. Otherwise, we'd probably hit a nice 7.
Yeah, I would go maybe an 8 for me. I mean, that Ibushi match, the Mike Bailey Vikingo match. I mean,
you know what? I'll bump it to a 7 because I'm not gonna watch the clusterfuck. So what do I give a shit?
Yeah, you got machine guns and a tag team title match. They're gonna work heel. You know they're gonna work heel.
GCW has their best champions ever right now.
Yes, that's accurate. And I cannot wait for all these titles to change hands over the course of this week.
Yep.
Supercard of Honor, 4 p.m. bell time. I'm sure they're going to do a
show
YouTube
of the week.
Possibly. Show of the week contender. Show of the week contender.
This is a show of the year contender.
Yeah, it was last year.
On paper?
Yeah.
No question about it. It's a show of the year contender. We're going to talk about the matches that aren't announced yet, too. Don't you worry.
Was I? I don't have that pulled up.
Oh, well, I'll start it off then.
Okay, hit me.
We got Wheeler Yuta defending the Pure Championship against Katsuyori Shibata. Yikes.
Yeah,
oh
baby.
My God. Holy shit.
Yes. Yes.
We're going to have Athena defending the Ring of Honor Women's World title against Yuka Sakazaki. We're cooking over here, folks. We are cooking in the kitchen.
Cooking.
Cooking with gas. Cooking with gas. I think that's it. I think you can do the rest.
Perfect. I believe Athena Yuka Sakazaki has been formally announced. I think the only one not formally announced yet is
they don't have a graphic yet. So
okay.
If you don't have a graphic, you don't get,
Fair enough.
You don't get...
The AAA mega title match, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Commander. Can I tell you this much, Scotty? This match got announced for GCW in Atlanta, and I bought a ticket. And then they're doing it on Ring of Honor. So I can't wait.
If they pull it because of that?
What's that?
Nothing.
I cannot
imagine if they pull it because of this.
I would be infuriated. As long as I still get Vikingo wrestling. That's the whole reason I bought a ticket.
They won't pull it. Tony Khan said, "Yeah, watch me."
Watch me. He is also booking Ring of Honor World TV title match. Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe. Years in the making here with Mark Briscoe's story here.
Could we possibly call this the Boy Howdy match of the night?
I think
in terms of it probably won't be the match of the night, but it can be.
It can easily be a Boy Howdy. This has big old Boy Howdy potential.
Yeah.
This entire show has Boy Howdy potential. What the hell are we talking about?
That's true.
Ring of Honor World Tag Team Title Reach for the Sky ladder match for the vacant tag team titles. It is Top Flight versus The Kingdom versus the Lucha Brothers versus Aussie Open versus La Faction Ingobernable. This will rule ass. This, I think, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is my Boy Howdy match. Let's just get a bunch of fucking luchadors and fucking great wrestlers. And Matt Taven, he knows how to wrestle multi-man ladder matches and win them. We got Aussie Open in there.
Hey.
We got Roosh.
Kingdom Shame here.
We got Roosh, baby.
No kingdom shame. The kingdom is great.
I never gave any kingdom shame. I said Matt Taven knows how to win multi-man ladder matches.
You were adding a little snide comment in there. I'm not appreciating it. This should be great. This should be fantastic. Reach for the sky ladder match. I have no idea who's gonna win.
Me neither. Me neither.
Who do I want to win? Who do I want to win? Aussie.
Oi. There, very nice. I will not go wrong with that.
Who do I expect to win? I have no idea. The Lucha Bros, maybe? I don't know.
I would be happy if anyone. I don't think the Lucha Bros would win. I think, honestly,
my least favorite option is Rush and Dralistic.
Interesting.
But that's because of Dralistic.
Interesting. You're not a big old Dralistico head?
Well, his brother's a lot better than him.
I think when he wrestles in Noah, he comes out to the Mystico music. If I'm not mistaken. Awesome. I know. That's how cool. That's how much I love Dralistico, because I can hear the Mystico music more.
I guess he Top Flight, man.
I think Top Flight has a good shot. I just can't see them doing the Ring of Honor tag titles around the Lucha Brothers. I don't see it around Aussie Open either. I think it's either the Kingdom or Top Flight, honestly.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I say Matt Taven. He should be the one that brings the title belts down. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I'd pop. It's going to be so good.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Dante Martin to do like some cool like flair when he's doing like a shooting star press, and then dumb idiots on Twitter are complaining about how dare he do flair in his moves. Anyway.
I can't wait for Aussie Open to just hum a guy up so high that he like grabs the freaking ladder and climb, because that's what they do. They're just gonna like throw Ray Phoenix. He's gonna catch the ladder and just be like, it's gonna be amazing.
Ring of Honor World Title match: Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston.
This is honor, people. Honor is real.
This is honor. Honor is for sure real. I'm excited for this, man.
This is phenomenal. This is gonna be great. I've been bumpy, obviously, with Claudio. I've liked some of his things. Mm-hmm. I've been a little more down than some other people. But heel Claudio against babyface Eddie Kingston?
Yes.
I mean, that's a spicy meatball. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be fantastic.
I mean, that's a spicy meatball, baby. Yeah, this should be great. This should be fantastic. I'm very excited about this match. I thought the promo interview segment thing they did on this past week's Ring of Honor show was fantastic. I thought Eddie Kingston was great. Claudio, it took him a little bit, and Eddie just kept egging him on until Claudio was finally able to be like, no, go into it. Like, you could see Claudio's not like a perfect promo guy, but when he's able to, like, Eddie is egging him on, it brings out something in Claudio that I think is something that is much missing from Claudio. But I thought it was very good. I thought it was a very good promo package there. And this match should be good. A lot of history. Well, their previous matches have been great. So, should be good. Should be good. But that's Friday.
I'd say so.
That's Friday for us. Saturday, of course, not a lot of shows that are happening. There's obviously a WrestleMania. But the only show that we took interest in was the World on Lucha 2. This was a pretty good to great show last year. So I don't think there's any reason why it can't be even good this year. There's a lot of stuff that's in here that's interesting, but let's talk about it. We had Sexy Star, not that one, the second one, versus Dolce Tormenta. Negro Casas versus Tony Deppen. Laredo Kid versus El Hijo del Vikingo. Cicople and Miedo Extremo versus Bestia 666 and Damien 666. I mean, that shouldn't be that good. Now that I look at it, Damien, come on. What are we doing with Damien? He's 61 years old. And we also got in the main event, presumably, Gringo Loco versus Psycho Clown. I think that's really the only show on Saturday worth watching. And even then, I'm looking at this now, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's a good chance.
Watch it. I'll probably watch NXT because I have interest, at least.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of interest in NXT. I thought this would be way better than it is. Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it isn't worth it. Maybe it isn't worth it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't help that we went from Ring of Honor to this. So that really visually does not help me. But I don't know. I think it should still be fun. I mean, it was fun. I wasn't expecting much last year, and I think that was a really good show last year. So
You should be happy it's not much, because this way you get to you can catch up on everything.
I can catch up on some stuff. I don't know. I think I'm going to make an effort to try to watch it. We'll see. I think it should be interesting at the very least. And at the end of the day, it's on Fight Plus. Watch it. You know,
That's
it's $5. But that is it. That is it for us this week. That is our WrestleMania weekend. We've been doing this for 3 hours now, I think.
I'm tired.
I know Scotty's tired. I'm tired. I got a lot of shit to do. We thank you everybody for listening. We thank you everybody for joining us for the live version. We thank you for listening to the long version of the audio version. We'll be back next week, obviously, to talk about a lot of these shows. A shit ton of these shows, so get ready for that. Scotty, anything else to plug? Anything? We already did kind of a match of the week, so just give me some plugs.
Yeah, follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter. Check out my interview with Aki Yasukawa, who's competing in WrestleMania week. She'll also be at WrestleCon. Also have an interview hopefully coming out on Wednesday, but I won't say officially yet until it actually happens. So, gotta wait till tomorrow, and then we'll see. But
is it with free agent Goldberg, or is it with free agent Kyrie?
It's definitely not with either one.
Damn.
But yeah, look forward to all the stuff. But I'm tired. We've done this long enough. We got to do it all over again next week.
And I can't wait, baby. I can't wait. Ring Post Radio, episode 90 next week. Talk about all that stuff. I'm super excited. I thought this was a good show. Follow me on Twitter at RyanKnightC. Follow Scotty at Scott E Wrestling. Follow the whole show at CountOutPod. If you have not listened to the audio version, subscribe to wherever you get the podcast catchers, especially when we're doing live version and all this other nonsense. Listen to the audio version. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/CountOutPod. I'll not announce here. I kind of already announced it on Twitter, but just doing a little special thing on the Patreon, just as sort of like a special bonus audio. It's not wrestling related at all. It's just I'm just doing it with my fiance Jessie, so you can hear her on there. We're just all we're doing, and this is part of the fun of being a Patreon supporter is we're just talking about Survivor, the TV show on CBS. We are reviewing, and is it a month late? Possibly. There were issues.
Possibly.
We addressed it on the show, but we are talking about Survivor, season 44, episode 1 is coming out. Our review of recap of episode 1, review and recap of episode 1 coming out this Monday on the Patreon, patreon.com/CountOutPod. So you can hear me and my fiance talk about Survivor, or as we like to call it, Skurvivor, this upcoming Monday. So join the Patreon for that. We would greatly appreciate it. And we'll probably do it like weekly episodes. I think we talked about maybe next week being like episode 2 and 3 to try to catch up a little bit. But yeah, we'll eventually try to make them be like sort of maybe like weekly episodes, something like that, for however long Survivor's on, for I think like 12, 15 episodes. I don't know. But yeah, we'll be doing that. So we would appreciate it if you join the Patreon and listen to that. Anything else, Scotty? I think we're good to go.
No, enjoy the week of wrestling, folks.
Yes, I will be spending the first half of this week to catch up on everything I haven't watched, to then be super behind again. So I cannot wait. That is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. Thank you everybody for listening. We love you all, and we will see you next week for an even more jam-packed episode of Ring Post Radio. Until then, goodbye everybody.